Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean, they are locked and loaded. They're ready to take the names as decided by you on the midday show. So make sure to join Adair and I and have your vote. Get your vote in the chat there. Yeah, you can see the future down, triple Q's down about 0.79 right now. The ES faring a little bit better, but very similar charts today on both the NQ and the ES. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Generally, the futures have been weak, as well as the Mag 7. And the first one we have is one of the biggest names in Mag 7, Nvidia. Another bit of a down day, weak chips today, even though ARM was strong. Goldman, though, releasing this note overnight. They're actually turning a little bearish on chip maker and advising a hedge group through basically that they should be taking a bit of a short position through options on the chips. We'll have to read through a little bit more there, but Nvidia, guys, taking a bit of a beating today.
Relatively speaking, it's maybe not the worst thing out there because if you have a look at the chart of AMD, which I guess I don't know if AMD is going to be there, we still see the rundown from the morning, so we'll start off with Nvidia. But the chips have been taking a bit of a beating. As usual, all week long, it's been the same thing, however. And Nvidia didn't quite get to and breach 117 today, but it was almost an inside day. If you look at that almost top tail there at the highs, we didn't end up getting a 122.50 breakout on Nvidia. That was a little bit frustrating. Kind of felt that when you had the double bottom here, we get a relief rally today and you were going to take out the top. So there was absolutely no breakout. And then at 117, both days did it turn at 117. It was the break of 117 and the reclaim on the way back up. So that was a little bit frustrating, as it didn't quite get there, but we still have time. You've got 2 hours to go to the close. And the 117, it's a support level, but you've only had the big bounce off of this level when it's broken, tested about the $0.50, and then come right back into the upside. So if that happens, I think you might get a little bit of a reversal. Another sell day here in Nvidia until it gets through that 122. Oddly enough, it's just been like a trend short over here for NVDA.
Look, guys, Nvidia, and despite what Neil was saying about a trend short, it is your P&L #1 today at Trader TV Live, and it's just a long. It was a good trade. Nothing ever really went against us. We were buying 119s, 120s all the time until that very last tick out right there. It is your P&L #1 today on Trader TV Live. Stick with us. You can even make money long when the trend is down. So there it goes. We're really starting to enjoy trading off these levels, especially earlier. I like Nvidia. Still a good day. Yeah, I know, Adam. It's not triple witching today. Is it July 7th month? Oh yeah, it should be triple witching. I guess the third Friday. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, look, I mean,
it's the third Friday, but it's not June. It's not the.
I want to give a big shout out. Big sirens up right now. Adara, I mean, we talked about this on the midday show, and it doesn't matter where you rank as far as traders are concerned, but Adara right up there today. I want to give a big congratulations to both Adara and Sharif on the midday, both green P&L traders there. And there's, it's just one of those days today where despite trading back and forth, it has been, a little bit level breaks here and there. Got to be able to hold on to a few winners. I want to thank Adara for taking that CrowdStrike trade and showing you guys all what's possible. And I just thought about that as we now have CrowdStrike on our mind right now. So let's go over and review that and bring it back right over here, my guy.
Look at this gap, Sean. That is not what you want to see right there if you are holding this position in your long-term account. Yes, overnight, chaos ensued. Airports stopped. Companies can't work, all because of CrowdStrike and an update that they released overnight, which did not work well. There was also issues with some Windows systems that CrowdStrike, the software CrowdStrike, was basically looping Windows, and it gave you that blue screen of death. So that caused all sorts of chaos. It did try to recover a little bit after the bell, as some of its basically competitors were moving to the high side while it was going down. Still on the way down, though, 12% almost of the downside. Sean's been holding this for a 7-banger. What's a look?
I think is the #1 stock here on the floor. I'm not sure, but I think it is. And we're trying to add to that right now with over $5 in the money. Look, this was a big break right here. Broke the 200 period moving average. We saw it. We liked it. It was a move down. There was talk here about Elon, something about CrowdStrike, and turning off the, oh, he deleted it, okay, turning off the servers or something like that. But either way, man, still, we knew we were trying to get short on this name at some point. We did miss those top plays, so we just had to play our very, very simple rule. And again, this line is now changed, but a break through the 200 period moving average, and CrowdStrike went $7, $7.50 in the money. But it stopped on a dime at 300. I mean, basically 2 dimes, 320 cents right there. So I'm a little bit nervous. I was going to get out if we break above 308. Look, CrowdStrike again. We have one negative name today, and it's Oracle, and I'll show you what's happening with that one. But look, again, like the stock, playing with house money. We got out of half immediately. Like when we were short here, 308, and then it dripped right into VWAP, and we got 305.50s or whatever that is. That's $2.50 in 2-3 minutes. So that was a good one. Play the momentum, breaks to the downside. Look, we're super, super confident with the plays that we've been putting on all recently. And I think the proof is in the pudding. So, you know, let's just keep on going with this. Feel like CrowdStrike was a can't-miss name there today. And we did miss the long. There's no doubt about that. We talked about the long at 285. It gets as low right off the open, and you had to be brave to take it. But that 290 right there off the open was pretty great as well. Let's not get too greedy. We already missed our opportunity to get out. I thought it could break 300. Was going to play off the 50 period. We're close enough now to getting stopped out. But hey, getting stopped out on winners is not a problem. It's getting stopped out on losers. Trailed out. Yeah, no, but I'm stopping out. I'm stopping myself out. So I'm stopping out this position right now. So yeah, trail out of that.
I just like it's easier for everyone to understand, right? Like it's a trail out, winner, stop out, you know, loser. I think it's an easy way to get out of it, to be sure. But like I actually thought we'd get that test for an SSR bounce at 280. I was pretty convinced the way that this thing opened up that you were absolutely headed for it. Unfortunately, I was looking for an SSR bounce play today on CrowdStrike. I really wasn't thinking short unless it got a lot higher. But I have a 1-minute chart. I usually use a 3-minute chart. I do use a 3-minute chart. In order to see what happened at the open, you have to use a 1 minute or something on a lower time frame. Because this is 9:30, where like you open at 95, you're instantly down, and this wick is exactly $290. Oh, my head is in the way. There, you see better there. Yeah, so go right to 290. And then rocket to the upside. It was very quick. And so if you weren't looking at that at the 290 level, you had no chance. After that, it was a bit of a trend to the upside if you're looking long. Not good news for them. Elon maybe pulled that tweet. I don't know if he did or didn't. But looking like it's going to be a nasty one for CrowdStrike. And the crazy thing about it is hand to God, it was yesterday or 2 days ago? Was it? Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was like, I wonder if I should sell some of my PanW and then just buy some CrowdStrike because it was going to the downside. This is before, obviously, this news happened. This close. I was actually really close to doing it. I'm like, maybe it'll find some support on that dip down. I'll be diversifying because I only own PanW. It's the only security name I have. Although owning the Qs, you, of course, have a piece of it with AVGO and others. But good thing we didn't do that. If it calms down here and holds a 200-period moving average, that could be a different story. I think you just got to let this thing settle for a couple of days because ultimately it wasn't like it was a security breach. This has happened before. Microsoft had something similar, and they easily got back from it.
Yeah, I think that was yesterday, Neil, because Redburn did downgrade CrowdStrike yesterday, so it was a little negative. All right, Palantir next on the list. No headline for Palantir today, but they did get this headline from yesterday. Wedbush giving them the nod with an outperform maintenance and bumping up the price target to $50. Certainly faring a lot better than the overall market. About 1% give or take here, 4/5 to 1%. Trying to stay green, guys. What's the look on Palantir?
Oracle's.
I actually had 2 trades in there for Palantir. One was a flat bottom break. It was sort of like an afternoon, like it's trying to break into the downside kind of deal. Like it tried to get through 30 here in the morning, and then there was this little trend back on PLTR. So here it is. Like it was 1, 2, triple top, and then it's kind of like this little double-ish bottom at about 228.90. I saw it break VWAP. Like the first consolidation off VWAP was still above support. The second one was at the support level. So when it bounced, lower high, it broke the low. Like, okay, we'll take that trade. And then we'll jump in back at that recent support level, or resistance level, I should say. Second time through, didn't work out. Thought we'd get out, look for VWAP. and it's still moving to the downside. So I think it's a little Friday afternoon style trade where maybe you have to be a bit patient with it. It could always break down 28.75 again, but I think waiting for VWAP and a decision at that price would make a heck of a lot more sense. It's still up 1% overall and is a relatively strong stock. So I think you want some serious confirmation. But I also see there's a break of the highs, the pattern that you saw a couple of days ago on some of the big retracements on IWM and others, where you have a big break of the high that gets rejected, then you get the lower high. And that's been a pullback trade oftentimes the next couple of days on whatever does that setup. A lot of the more bullish names have done this.
All right, so just so you guys know, I did get out of crowd right there, but then I noticed as I was sitting here watching it that it was not breaking 04s. So it came through. I guess it must have broken on a dark pool or something like that. So what I did instead was I got out of that trade for $3 or $4. Where were we short? We were short at 0750s, yeah, almost 08. And we got out at 4, so there, $4 right there. And then we just put some trades back on because we noticed, and we were just sitting right there at 300 actually. Of course, 303.01 bounces off 303.05 right there. So one more push down on CrowdStrike, and we'll make back another $1 on CRWD. So let's see if it goes, man. Look at the spread. That's the thing. Like we got stopped out. I'm not sure if it did. It did break 01 or 04 there. But I did get back in. It looked like it wanted to hold it. And it looks like we were maybe right temporarily, but we're still going to get out if it takes that level again. So we're back. We were just back in the money, almost $1. Just didn't get filled down there at 303. Probably should have put it at 303.10, and then we would have got filled instead. We're at 303 flat. So here comes CrowdStrike, hopefully coming back down to the downside. Look, I just put in the chat. Just notice winning trades versus losing trades. Today, Palantir, to me, I didn't have it on. And the thing about it was it didn't, I mean, Neil just went over some levels. Other than that, I wasn't looking short. That triple top is about as good as it gets. You guys know that I trade support and resistance, so that should have been something to have gotten looked at there as we had multiple resistance levels. Now on the bid, yeah, I could see myself getting long down here at 28.75s. Yeah, maybe if there's something that could be a CrowdStrike just went through again. And all right, so the thing is, now I'm probably going to get back in. Let's just see what happens here. Doesn't really want to break this 304, but this time it actually did clean. Last time I went over to this, the 304 was just offer like this, and it wasn't breaking through. So let me see now. There's obviously an ARCA that's trying to hold this thing, but it's with less than 100 shares. So I'm thinking like it just keeps on breaking, and I just keep on getting broken out of it right there. So let's see. See, I add some 97s there, and of course, it runs away from me. So yeah, we might get back into this. I don't want to chase it too much. But again, CrowdStrike, I don't even feel like we're being that stubborn here. It doesn't seem like it wants to break. So I'm going to give it a little bit more room through 304. Again, it's a big stock. We made just as much on this as we did on Meta. And I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point off the TSM.
Yeah, Taiwan Semiconductor here, fourth on the list. Bit of a tougher day for it, obviously. Chips awfully weak, saving except for a couple of names, ARM being one of those. Yeah, trying to, I think this is the wrong screen. There we go. There it is. 2.89% to the downside here, guys. Taiwan Semi. Again, no real headline except this one. They are getting a bit of a boost because analysts at, I believe, Needham like the look of their 3 and their 5 nanometer production, basically looking out for it in Q3 of this year and reiterating their buy rating and boosting the price target to $210. That's a nice premium from where it's trading at right now, guys.
Another name on a deep pullback, but the good thing for TSM here is it's a second day that we're bouncing off the 50 simple moving average, something we talked about a lot. Usually for good stocks, if you're in short term, bounces off the 50 are good. Daniel Shea, you're here to say it all the time. We're talking a little bit about that this week. And the 200 period, you can forget about it for anything related to AI that's been up. You can pretty much forget about the 200 period moving average. So TSM, it's a double tap of that level and holding on to the line at that 166. So a lot of times, I don't necessarily love this in terms of a support level on TSM. I just think you get a little more juice if Nvidia bounces off 117, but it's basically the same kind of story. Both these two names are sitting right on that support level. Nvidia clearly has the same high and the same lows, whereas TSM has lower highs and the same lows. So that's a descending wedge, and the other one is a channel. The channel obviously a little bit stronger than this descending wedge in TSM. If it breaks down, I think there's going to be a tremendous buy opportunity. But picking that bottom, good luck with it. A lot of times you'll see something break a big support level like that. Yeah, I'm going to get 145 or something along those lines, and it bounces 155 and you never get in. I feel with a good company, if it's part of your plan, just buy it incrementally if that's your case. But I'd rather see Nvidia 117 bounce this afternoon than try and pick on this double bottom here on TSM. Just going to stay away from it. The geopolitical risk, I think, is obviously a little bit higher with TSM. They're all related. They all have geopolitical risk. I just think you have a little bit more of it with TSM. Good news is the earnings were actually pretty solid.
Yeah, they did have a good earnings report there. ASML was the problem, of course. I wasn't here that day. But all right, so we just took 75 cents on a reload of CrowdStrike. We do still have a piece on. Our stop is 405.50, as you can see right there. Our net is higher now than it was at any point on CrowdStrike. Oh, that's not true. When it was down here at $300, it was pretty good, as that $8 winner was on board. But here we go. Shorting again, watching out, man. There's our last take. Remember, the market will be a slippery slope here. I mean, all of these shorts, we're taking like 20, 30 cents. Some of them are like 10-cent hits. But right now, I'm going to give this a little bit more room just to see if it goes above that 304.50 area. So that's CrowdStrike right here. Once it's out, and we're gone. So we're going to have to watch out for that as it's starting to bake higher. And I got to edit my order because I feel like I just want to get out of all of it if it does break. It looks like you might get a trend change there off the 50-period moving average, still holding short on CrowdStrike. Let's go think about Affirm.
Yeah, it's the last name here, guys. Affirm started off the week quite well. You'll see that big green candle, but then look at the consecutively lower high and lower lows as it sells off. This one started off the week quite strong, as we talked about more breadth coming into the market and possibly some lower cap names catching a bit of a bid after the year, and almost all of last year was dominated by the Mag 7. There was also this headline from yesterday. The short interest on Affirm dropped significantly by about 8%, now sitting at around 12.16% of the float being shorted here. So a bit of a tougher day, down 1.88 right now. But overall, did you guys look at this one?
Last couple of days we've had it up. I haven't traded Affirm, but we did. I think we mentioned this yesterday that it could test the bottom of. I guess it's the bottom of this channel, but it's really the top of the long channel, which was breached. You had the first close above it. And this is a channel that was for like a whole year that essentially Affirm held it. So you're getting a potential bounce play here today. Now, what I said about this yesterday, at least for myself, is I'm bullish on Affirm if it holds above this channel and breaks back out above the 200-period moving average, like that 34 level. So now you've got this little double top at 34. If it breaks that out above 34, then I'm going to like it. So that's what we're going to be involved in. If we get it. I mean, there's no guarantees.
Oh, boy.
So I think you just got to be a little bit patient with Affirm. I'm not bullish on this yet, but it's sort of forming a bit of a bottom here for a potential re-break out to the upside. As far as the day trade, 30, if it goes, I think you're in trouble.
All right, instantly $1 in the money now on CrowdStrike as this is trying to go to the downside. I want to bring Intel to everybody's attention as well. You can see Intel right here. We just shorted that bad boy as that just came back up. One more time for INTC. So we're going to go short on Intel against 30 right now, trying to find this. We remember what we want to do, man. Weak name into a weak market. So we pick on CrowdStrike, which is that dollar. We're just, you know what? I'm waiting here in the 60s. I mean, we could just put a bid out and see if we get filled right now and see if we, we just put a bid and it just ripped up 30 cents there. All right, now we're sitting there. Hopefully one more push down and we can get that $1.40 or whatever here on CrowdStrike. One little move down in and right there. Back to real trading as we go, as Kathy Wood says, hey, man, watch out for CrowdStrike. Hey, Kathy, it's all good, baby, because right there we were reloaded, and right now CrowdStrike goes into the number 2 position, P&L wise right there. Thank you for that, Fabian. As there it is, man. We just, again, we're working through these trades with you. You know, these are trades that everybody can put on. Easy day, some of these trades. So there it is right there. And I hope you guys Like I said, enjoy the show. We only have one red name on today, and it's going to be Oracle. And look at this. It did fall back in right here. We were trying to represent this 50-period moving average here on the 20-minute chart, but it fell through it. Didn't fall through it for very long, but it did. And we tried it, and then eventually got stopped out right there. Again, we won't talk about net, but I'm down about a quarter on Oracle, what we're up on CrowdStrike. So, and Oracle's the only red name that we have today. So, so far, so good. It's been a huge day, man. Alibaba, Neil. Wow. This was a trade for the century for sure. Alibaba right there off the 200, once, twice. Ain't it nice? All the way back in right there. So another winner on board right here, right? And so, again, this is what trading is all about. I said to you guys, like, find your winners, right? And someone in the chat is like, hey, man, how come Sean and Neil are always green and 95% of everybody are losers? And I just said, hey, we're not always green.
Not always. I mean, I've given back a third of yesterday.
Yeah. So right there, just what I was saying is that some of us will be green, some of us will be red. You can always ask us, but that's why we're showing you individual stocks, because not everybody will trade all of the stocks. Like for today, I'll be 6-1 or 7-1, something like that. But the idea here is that you may not be on anything else. This is my very first trade on Intel here. And look at this. I mean, we just put this on, and instantly right now, it's a big winner. Not everybody will do this, but this is a trade that I'm looking at. Everybody will have different styles, different trading. So to answer the question of Benjamin there, yeah, 95% of the traders are red. And it's just lucky enough that some days you're able to be green. And this month, I think I maybe have one red day. It's been a pretty good one. But again, sometimes you have bad runs too, right? So just about being honest, being humble with your trading and understanding what's going on. And that's why I really appreciate Sharif and all that stuff when he was talking about having good vibes. And I think that that's really something that's changed. It's about having positive vibes. It's about shouting out. That's why I told you guys, Brankles, Wayne, Adara, Sharif, all to the green side today. Big days around. And it's just like, you got to celebrate and understand when good days are there and then work off of your good days. Whether or not Intel does this. I mean, look at this. Wow, this looks like a genius, right? Sean is a genius on this Intel trade. But really, I mean, it's the top there. We took it. It could have kept going. But this is why you sort of got to have, what do they say, balls? Where you're putting on trades, making money, and hopefully paying bills with that. Sure, 95% of the traders won't be able to do that. But lucky enough to have been here this long. And as you heard from that podcast with Daniel, I mean, I've been here for a minute, hired lots of traders, including Neil, and many of the traders, not that you'll see here because I've been out of this hiring game for a minute, but lots of traders here. And it's just been a really positive experience. And I'm hoping to share some of the strategies with you guys here trading as well. So again, thank you for the continued support. And, we're still here. And CrowdStrike is now $2.
Yeah, shout out to you in the chat there. Appreciate you, Sebastian, as well. Sebastian, thanking everybody. Great look. Intel, someone just asked, why is Intel tanking? Is there any news on it? It's been called a Trump trade, I guess, the last couple of days, and a lot of the Trump trade stocks have been pulling back. So I think that's basically the reason. I don't know 100% whether you want to call it. That's all. Really, it found a resistance level. This was an earnings top at 35 change. And if you see it, like you've rejected that breakout above 35 change, so it could just be a pullback into what might be prior support in the low 30s. So we'll see what happens with Intel. I had this earlier and was looking for a VWAP retrace. And I should put it in the chat. I'm looking for a VWAP retrace. But it's right, like this top has been like 22, 23, 24. So might have to adjust to that as it continues to work into the downside. Nvidia is coming in again, now 118. That 117 has been a big support level. But each time it's gone down there, you've usually seen a breach of 117 before you get a good break back to the upside. So that's what we're going to be watching out for. Apple, I like VWAP on Apple this afternoon. It's more like the 225 level. VWAP is 225.25, which is oddly enough very similar to what we were looking at the close yesterday. Like 225 to 225 and a quarter was the top 3 or 4 times. Looking to see if we can get a short the pop on Apple. As the market's trending down, I think I want a short VWAP on anything that's relatively weak. Trying to find something that is strong today is a bit of a struggle. if you want to look for some longs. I really don't see anything that's great and trending to the upside at this moment. Now, that's if I like Rivian still. Rivian trying to creep back under VWAP, so I might, like the best trade was under VWAP for Rivian, so I'm going to look for the under VWAP short, which is starting to come in here for Rivian. When I was shorting it above VWAP into resistance, it was a mixed bag, but shorting it under VWAP was essentially always working. So that's what I'm looking for on Rivian. I didn't catch who was asking that question. Just wanted to get to everything.
All right, just wait 1 second here, Fabian. I just want to say here, like, shh, the Intel Whisperer is here. Intel right there. We've really quietly over the last month and a half really traded Intel. Wicked awesome. There's Intel right there, down 5%. We just took an 0.5 fill for that. All right, I like that one, Fabian. All right, he had that going. All right, I had no idea what that was. Fun stuff there, Fabian. I like that. All right, so we're here with Intel. I like that. Fabian, ready again? All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, good one. All right, so that was a good one there. Everyone loves it. They love it there in the chat. Yeah, yeah, man, we're in a good mood here. One more time on a Friday. I mean, why not? Why not? You want to review some of the trades today? I mean, Alibaba short, that's a big one. That's a big one. Let's go over it. First trade we've traded today, Alibaba. Second trade we traded today, CrowdStrike. I mean, this one right now is $1.50 in the money. Intel. I see dead people. Right there, Meta. Meta. Big trading there for Meta. So right now, that's 4 for 4. Let's go over to Nvidia. We told you this is P&L number 1 right now for Nvidia, so we'll drop down some cash right there as this one continues to go. Then what about Oracle? Man, we got a red name on the board today. It's Oracle as that continues to go to the downside. Finite, that's it. So we'll go Oracle, Nvidia, Meta, Intel, CrowdStrike, and Alibaba. And the thing is, now that I look at these, the only stocks, actually, no, we were long. I was going to say we were long both of our stocks. Well, actually, P&L wise, I'm up more on long names, but this Intel is definitely helping with this. The CrowdStrike, I think, still gets a spicy meatball coming through. We still have a third of this trade. Can this break through 300? Yes, it can, I believe. We'll wait to see if that does happen. But man, these trades are getting bigger and better as we speak. Alibaba to the downside. CrowdStrike right now, not $1, but $2 in the money. There isn't much like us. I want to give a big shout out to Ponzi and all you guys there in the chat right now saying that potentially we are more real than we think. And that is exactly the whole point of this, is trying to show you these are the trades we have on right there, 5 and 1 or whatever today for a positive, positive day. And it doesn't go like this every day. So you got to sort of be patient, understand that, hey, as long as you follow your rules and the rules have been back tested and we can all see our own nets, right? So you just have to be real with how trading is going. And then once trading starts hitting fire, you try to go up the shares. My biggest problem is that when I'm nervous sometimes to just even put on that extra level of shares because, it's like right here, I could make one mistake and lose the whole day. So you really, really got to be patient, I feel like, especially here in the second half of the day, which is why we're...
Well, it's more in the second half. I think we're really late in the day and on a Friday too, which historically you usually get a little bit of inside action just to bring the future. Every single day, we've gone over the futures because that's been a request when we do the symbol rundown. I just realized we actually haven't done that. So the bottom of the channel, this is the NASDAQ here. I know sometimes you look at the SPY. The NASDAQ is right in the bottom. Overnight low, yesterday's low, and then today's low. So overnight lows and yesterday's lows are the high. And then this is your bottom in here. So if we never break out of this range, look short the top. If you can find something to go long at the bottom, I'm still in search mode as far as I'm concerned. I just looked over at AMD. I know AMD's weak. I said it's weaker than Nvidia. It's actually not that much of a difference, but in sentiment, it feels to me like this is a weaker name, at least in terms of the trend. Percentage-wise, might not reflect that. But this might be a 152. I'd love it if it was VWAP in here. But what's interesting about AMD, at least at the price that it's at right now, is it's losing. I'm going to get this channel out of the way because it's no longer valid on my daily chart, and I have to hit save because last time it didn't stay. You're losing the 200 period moving average today on AMD. We talked about that being a good place to buy stocks. Well, it consolidated and tried to hold there, and now all of a sudden, it's just failing it. So I think the short underneath the bottom, if you get continuation, is not a bad place, because if it's just going to continue to flush here on AMD, that's a big spot. Closing underneath that 200-period moving average is big. I'm going to like this 52 level. Apple VWAP will be patient and try and wait for 225 there. If we get a pop into 152 on AMD, going to look for the short on that one as well. And we'll see what happens. Like if Walgreens doesn't come out a sell, then at 3, if it's not an early look sell at 330, I'm probably not going to be as interested. And at 350, if nothing happens on that in SMCI, so be it. But SMCI going into the NASDAQ 100, Walgreens coming out of it. So unless Walgreens pops back and goes into the 10s and the teens, probably nothing doing. If it pops down to 11 even, then we're doing some covering. If it breaks 11, we'll look to find somewhere else short. Again, just coming out of the NASDAQ. This is the last few days on Walgreens. You've just sort of seen it tank at the end of the day, even when there's a flat bottom. Like you had tankage and then some continuation today. Doesn't necessarily have to do something like this, but I would imagine if there's a big sell imbalance, it's not going to hold on to 11.
It's 231 right now. All right, so I'll probably. I mean, I may be done putting on trades. I mean, we'll still look for some opportunities. Let's talk about the big ones that we have on right now. So CrowdStrike, again, if you're in this with me, which I know some of you are, short this name for sure. Like I said, this is P&L number 1 on the floor today is CrowdStrike. Right here, 299, possible breakthrough 2 bills. 3 bills. I was initially bidding this 297.50 area. So that was something that I was thinking about because, again, we had some get that garbage out of here early on right off the open. That's going to be hard to say it's going to come back into 290. But maybe we could get some of this pre-market love there. And if we zoom this back out, we can have a quick look one more time. There it is right there. Like we kind of bounced off there, off that first move. That was about 940. So I'm kind of thinking like 297.50. $3 in the money. I mean, we've had multiple dollars on multiple symbols today. So as it continues to go, and look at the damage we're doing on Intel right now as well. I mean, good trading here. This is why we're getting out. You know, you put on shares at key levels. When that comes in, we actually have 2 fills. We actually have 2 fills up here on Intel. There. I mean, you can see the double wicks there, and there it is. So we get the out again. This stock is going directly into the gates of hell, and this one I'm very, very proud of this because again, we just put it on right in front of you guys. And so this one again, another positive name for us, and hopefully a good trade moving into the close now for Intel as we just hold on to the shorts. I mean, the Nasdaq's down 1%, definitely trending lower right now. I'm not looking long at all. So we'll wait to see here.
Maybe on U.S. Steel.
Yeah, there was some news. I just heard it in the thing about U.S. Steel. But again, U.S. Steel, because they're being bought there.
Maybe.
Supposed to be being bought.
Yeah.
I don't know what Trump's opinion would be on this, but there it is, a nice move up. Oh, up 1%. I mean,
Trump's not going to like a foreign buyer. That's my thing. Like, well, who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, you would suspect that if like, President Trump would probably not like a foreign buyer of U.S. Steel. So I didn't hear what the news was, but it's been languishing ever since there was any kind of suspect shade being thrown at that deal. And I think if it got to like 39.40, that would be a bit of a fade. I'll keep her to the ground. I didn't really hear I couldn't catch the actual news when it did come across. But maybe the 38 level, if there's any kind of a bounce back trade on U.S. Steel, it could be scalpable. Yesterday, when there was deal action, we were able to find a couple of good stair steps. I got it way too early. But certainly, if you pull back to where the news came in and find a bid right at that 38 level, consolidated there once, if it does it a second time, should be a relatively simple trade there. So here it comes right back in. I want to see if it can bounce off that 38 level. Nice even dollar for U.S. Steel. We did get into Rivian off of VWAP. It just pulled into VWAP just now. So there we go. Just pulled into VWAP. A little bit of a stair step down. If it breaks 1660, I think we can see some of those lows. But this is just essentially like a rinse and repeat of when it got under VWAP before. Rivian down 1.5%. Not nearly as bad as Tesla. Tesla down 4%.
All right, I'm just going to tweet this one out because, again, this show is about education, entertainment, information. One more. And hopefully good trades. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, right? I mean, everybody is here is to learn. We're here to show you and to support real trading, which is why I talk about the successes of the gentleman behind me, Big Patty Ice. It's why I talk about the successes of Adara, Sharif, the big guys on the desk over there, my guy Neil here, everybody today, right? I mean, not just today, throughout time. And you guys have seen a trader like Adara come here, and now all of a sudden, you know, I think it was probably your best day, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so her best day right there. And I mean, again, you know, this is why we're here. You'll often hear me talk about, wow, this is a good winner. This is a big winner, right? But, you know, we're also the same guy shouting out these kind of plays every single day. And I think that's what it's all about, right? I see my daughter playing sports and everything like that. It's about teamwork. It's about building it up. It's about sharing of information. It's about trying to get better together as a group. And obviously, everybody trades their own books. I mean, you could see right here, we talk about it all the time. There'll be symbols that I'll be down on, Neil will be up on, and vice versa, right? So, I mean, that kind of play is up to each other. But, you know, to be able to sit here in what is a very lonely business, I mean, you're sitting here trading by yourself every single day, right? And that's why we're trying to have this kind of fun with you, show you that, you know, some of the trades that we have on can be very, very simple. And then also show you the different styles between Neil and I, right? There'll be days where we have completely different thoughts on stocks.
Crypto.
We'll trade crypto's starting to go 66.
No, crypto's not moving that much.
Really?
Mara's tanking while Bitcoin, I didn't see a huge move in Bitcoin.
I don't know.
IBIT's at the high, but Mara's dropped like 70 pennies. I just saw someone in the chat saying Mara, I looked over. Yeah. Sean's got Bitcoin in his thing. I went over and I had a 4-hour chart up on Bitcoin. So I wanted to see what it was doing a little bit locally. But yeah, so a bit of a pull down here happening in Mara specifically. Yeah, if Mara's going to do this underneath VWAP, I might add this to the list. That's relative weakness. It's moving. There you go. That's relative weakness. It's definitely moving big time. What we did just get in off VWAP, Rivian here, it's 67s is VWAP essentially on my 3-minute chart. I mean, it should be the same on most people's charts within a penny or two. But it just got to that 60 level, a breakdown. We'll get some out at 50 as well as it works to the downside. And I know you hear us say this a lot, but in a downward trending market, probably, at least for myself, the highest probability afternoon trades have not been shorting something at the high. It's usually short something that's failing VWAP or pulling back into VWAP. And then just if it bounces off it or shows you the level off of that, just take the short. And if today was an up day, I'd be thinking the same thing in the other direction. But it's not. It's a down day. So when a down day, look to short the pops and weak stocks if you can. And Mara, which was not one of those all day long today, suddenly this afternoon is looking like a weak stock. I'm going to get back to a 3-minute chart because I really do prefer a 3-minute. As you can see, not even a green candle on Mara on the 3-minute chart. If this bounces, gets to VWAP and fails, then I'd add that to the list of things that we want to be shorting, especially given that Bitcoin's not even doing anything and this is falling.
Yeah, good look there on Mara, of course. And I feel like we've got another good look here on Intel. Intel's right now is trying to break through $33. So this is just a 21-cent winner. It's not, you know, but again, it's about the share sizes that you guys want to use. And this is a good one, right? A $33 name. We definitely faded that off. And I just tagged my very, very good friend, Brian Shannon, one more time, because there it is, man. We talk about this all the time. Join me on Tuesdays for the market recap show. There's another big trade there off Intel with the VWAP. So there's VWAP coming in right there on INTC. Here's Brian Shannon, 300,000 followers, talks all about VWAP and whatnot. What is Brian saying today? There's his book. We have it right here somewhere. That's a good one. All right. He does not like ARC. We know about that one. He's talking about the SMH here. SMH trying to break lower. Starbucks. We'll have a quick look at that 16 hours ago. Neil just said Starbucks. I talked about it yesterday. We bought some Starbucks. Yeah. I'll go to it there in a second. We got some Starbucks. I have no idea what it's doing. We bought Starbucks yesterday along with a little bit of Nike. So let's go find out what the story is.
Here's the story for SBUX. This is a bit of continuation. We did have earlier this week some reports that potentially there is going to be some activist interest from Starboard. Today, though, we have a report from Wall Street Journal that Elliott is actually involved in an activist capacity. So apparently, to quote the headline here, the activist investor Elliott has a large undisclosed stake in Starbucks, according to sources. So unconfirmed, but Wall Street Journal reporting a large undisclosed activist stake in SPUX.
Well, after this Starbucks story, I mean, we're all the way up to 77.60. We just bought some yesterday. Our fill yesterday, I have no idea where it was. I'll have to go back and look, but there it goes. It is Starbucks going right up there to the upside. So this is what we have to say about that one right now. All right, we're done. All right, good one there. Starbucks, nice upside move, man. Wow. All right. I mean, look, we leveled into it. It's not like we put our life savings into this thing. Nice to get 5% out of nowhere, though. Now, on Thursday, when Raider Trader comes through, we'll see here. Starbucks, I like that trade. And we talked about it again. Just coming off some of those bottoms one more time. So this is what it kind of needed. We had actually talked about why we like Starbucks down here, just all kidding aside, is just that I mentioned here, looking at their app, it feels like to me, more deals are coming through there right now. We've seen it get flushed out. They have not been operating well throughout the last couple quarters. Need a change here. And obviously, it's absolutely a perfect catalyst now to get an activist in there. This is exactly, this is what I want for Nike. I want to change. I want to change a mentality. Let's see if Starbucks now gets some more board seats. No idea really about the story. We just heard it here. Well, I'm pretty sure we heard this yesterday, a couple days before. But there it goes right now, reacting to this. I like the stock, and I'm not getting out. So this is one here.
I was going to ask. I was like, is it trade, hold?
No, this is long term. That's what I was saying. Probably just put in a couple. I don't know. I don't want to say how many racks we put in. But at the end of the day, it's just a trade. So it's a trade for a long term. I really like the stock. I want to buy high quality companies and hold them. So we'll see if Starbucks can go. I mean, $90 is the 200 period. If we ever got back up to there, then yeah, I would probably take some out. And maybe we get there in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I guess it could be.
Mid-February, if on Monday, Starbucks closes above 78, that'll be the first time since mid-February that it had 2 consecutive closes over the 50-period moving average, which it's essentially been riding. That's the kind of reversal that I want Nike to do. I want to get into Nike, but I'm either pandemic lows or when it does something of a breakout, which is, I could draw a trend line, but you get the idea. The 50 period is showing you the story here for Starbucks. And the story was like an activist investor. Now we know it's Elliott, who has a pretty decent track record of success with the names that they're interested in. Whether or not they do influence, they tend to perform pretty well. So good look for Starbucks there as it continues to do volume. I just went over to X because that was on my mind and not back to Starbucks. The play that would have been, Starbucks or X getting back into 38, Starbucks 77, 76 is VWAP. As this peters out or slows down on volume, what'll happen is you could get a convergence where, VWAP's going to get up there if it keeps the volume up, and that could come right back into the support level at that 77. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Maybe there's a bounce trade for Starbucks. If I get a reload, Rivian, it's going to be right in here on VWAP. If we get it, we get it. That's what it's all about. Just have to be very, very patient. And AMD, no bounce, still chilling at 151, looking for the next pop to the upside that can fail 152, and then we'll put on that short. So Starbucks go broke. Apparently not, Ponzi. Apparently not.
Oh, man. Shout out to Jesus right here. My guy, Jesus Cabrera, 199 Katina Capital. I mean, yeah, we did put the upgrade there. And then, of course, today we get that bounce to the high side there. Whatever, man. I mean, next time oh, yeah, that's right. Tim Hortons right there. So not Starbucks.
It's not Starbucks.
Not Starbucks right there. But that was, again, 600 points gets me that for free. So that's a free drink right there. Nice upside move in Starbucks. I think Starbucks today, on Fridays, it's 25% off iced beverages. So go get your refreshing iced beverage ASAP. Look, the thing about these iced coffees is it's a little bit of a
It's cold in here.
Yeah, no, it's not that. I'm trying to say something different here. For me, it was more about the last couple times I feel that I've had this in the afternoon, it's more like a superstition. We've really done real well right there. So just alone on CrowdStrike, we now have iced coffee for days just on this trade. We get out right now. Just on Intel alone, iced coffee for days right here. So yeah, so far this afternoon, man, 2 for 2 and 2 for 2 big ones right there. So yeah, man, leveling up every single day. Again, I hope you guys can see that and at least tell by the way we talk, because again, we don't disclose our nets or anything like that, but you guys, I hope can tell what is happening. So far so good there. Tesla apparently increasing the prices of their Model X Plaid now. So that's the big boy to 95 from 93. So Tesla increasing the price. And again,
There's
shout
a
out
few
to
other ones too.
Yeah, shout out to Benzinga Pro here as our good friend Ryan Faluna. Sure, yeah, that was his name. Yeah, I just said my good friend. Yeah. From 95 to 95,000 from 93, share $10 in there as well. Tesla today down 4 and a bit percentage. This is the Benzinga Pro platform. Here's the Starbucks talk right here, right? So let's just see when this came through. 239.15 on their platform. Again, it's probably going to be a little bit of a late story as some of these things it takes a minute for them to hit. But if you see this trade right here, what did I say? 239.15. So yeah, man, that's right there. So it's basically that next little minute. So even if you caught that story, you could have gone long 77, 77.50, bumped that to 79 right there. So a big shout out to our good friends for another one, of course. And this guy don't want no heat right now as Berkshire. Last couple days, man, it's been a good stock, been getting hit a little bit on some movements to the downside there. I really like Charles Schwab getting beat up in the banking sector. I think I will potentially look at that name, SCHW right there. This could be a name to look at, I believe, anyways. Got to do a little more work on this as I'm not as educated regards any stocks, really. But as far as U.S. banking, but look at this, right into a level that I like, but they did just have earnings, so something's fallen off. They have not gotten back up yet off the mat with their last earnings call, or last earnings release earlier this week. So we'll have to wait to see here with Charles Schwab. But there we go, man. We picked up Nike yesterday, Starbucks yesterday. Those are my two most recent buys. Absolutely nothing else. Sold some Palantir, sold some Tesla. Did not get out of any Nvidia or Meta or anything like that. Did not get out of Google. I feel like there's one more name, and I'll think about what it is, but it's going to be a big tech name.
I missed a dip buy in Meta the other day. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, I had a stink bid when Meta had that big drop. I had a stink bid. It missed by like $10, maybe $11, something along those lines. But to the point of like, sometimes you'll get a delay with Benzinga. The important thing for news is to make sure you get it right. You want to make sure there's like multiple reports of it, and it's not a situation where it's like, you know, fake news. So sometimes that initial algo reaction, the second wave can be the safer wave when you know for sure that there's a legitimate story and you're not just buying a top and it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what we thought it is, and you're already pulling back in. So Starbucks, in the midst of a pullback, like to see it make a bounce, show some kind of consolidation, and then work into some kind of upside. Instead of just catching a falling knife, you're starting to see it hold that 78. Maybe not that much. And for anyone that's just tuning in right now, Diet Soda in the chat asking why Starbucks is up. The activist investor turns out to be Elliott. Elliott disclosing a stake in Starbucks. And for those that, I saw someone in the chat asking if we've seen more Cybertrucks around there on Tesla. I haven't seen any. And we never, I don't think I've ever seen a Cybertruck around here. I know there, you see a lot of them in California. But Tesla raising prices on the Plaid, also, you know, the Model X as well. But Starbucks trying to settle down a little bit. You're going to get a pullback when you get news like this. It's just a matter of where it can form that dip. On a 3-minute, I want to see it close higher, hold that low, and then look for a push back into the high. Right now, we're just in a consolidative phase. Still not much going on Apple as we speak, or AMD, the other one we're looking for, a short to pop. Markets just sort of hang on these lows. So I think Starbucks on a consolidation might be the next place worth playing. If you guys see anything that's really moving that we're not covering, let us know. But Starbucks doing the most relative volume in the last couple minutes here.
Props up to anybody who's trading right now. Like, there's CrowdStrike. We talked about holding this, man. Last time we did not get out at 300. And guess what, man? This is honestly, it's just a reload. So we reloaded this. We got stopped out at 304, but then again, this is why we talk about having the ability to trade multiple styles and being able to watch the tape and things like that. Like I saw at 304 there that there was definitely a problem with it breaking. I mean, the market's going up right here, and this is at a breaking spot low. But look at that 300. So like right now, I'm just thinking to myself, I could probably just get out and punch short on the break, but I don't want to miss what I might miss. Like this could go right to 299, and then all of a sudden it's like, gulp, what have I done? Because I get out at 300, then I miss the punch short because I'm not crossing a dollar, you know? So it's like, I'm just going to let this thing go, see if it wants to break 300. I think when it does, it gets to that 297 and change, and then we'll ring the register. And then honestly, man, the amount of fun that we'll be having after that, I mean, the trade will be over with for me, but that would be a great area to get out, and we can talk about that. I just want to make sure I just put the bid in there because I did cancel it. This is my CrowdStrike idea. So again, CrowdStrike right now, it's teetering on P&L number 1 today. So I'll tell you that. And the other thing too is that if it breaks right there, I'm trying to see about this level. The pre-market kind of bottom right there of 297.20, plus we bounced off of it right there, 297.50. So that's where I'm waiting in case we get that 300 break. But again, everyone's built different. I think we prove that every single day here on the show. Take your trade. Like, I don't want to hear like, oh my God, Sean, okay, let's go. Look at that size right there. It just got eaten up. Someone just either fake size that or whatever. This thing could easily break 300 right now. Someone is either a hell of short or they could have got caught short now if they just got wiped there. So this thing could go back up. Yeah, I don't know if he got filled or not. Could go back up to the upside, but that was stacked on the offer. I don't know if that was a quote problem right there.
Well, if it was real and that guy got filled, that's...
I mean, it's 40 million shares today.
It's on so much... It's 100... It's easily possible that was a real fill.
Yeah. Here it goes.
No, I think if someone was that guts to get that big short, they don't want to... They're waiting for it to break, and they don't want to miss the breakdown. I think that's a good point.
There we go right now. Let's go, man. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 now as we go on CrowdStrike. You guys want real trades? You guys want this kind of action here? This is what we're doing right there. It's CrowdStrike, and it's ciao, Bella. It's to the downside right now as we continue to get low. Waiting for Alibaba to go. Look, man, this is already... Fabian, I'm ready again, Fabian. I'm ready again. 299.50 as we go back into the downside here for CrowdStrike. We're bidding that 297.50, man. We're having fun. We're having fun right there. Nice little reload back up to the upside right now. So there it is, the Benzinga Pro platform. Make sure we get that. No, I'm okay. We'll save it. Let's see if we get that fill at 297.50 right now. Nice little retracement back on CrowdStrike, but we're here for the day. So let's wait to see if we do get that pushed down. This is exactly what we're doing. Shout out to you, Elon, in the chat, man. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh. Congratulations there. Great looking trade. I think that guy that, if somebody's taking that kind of size short, it's also a whale that's with you, whether they're filled or not. Usually that can be a good thing. Starbucks, speaking of Benzinga, Starbucks with that push to the upside, we got that 78 hold. It got to the 40 level. We took some out. It just went for the reload here. So if we lose 77.80, we're going to jump out. We're looking for a push back into the $0.50 on SBucks here. So the news, Elliott Management is they are the investor, or the activist investor anyways, and it's holding this 78 level. So there was a wick down, it's calmed down and found some support. Let's go to the desk. We've got Adara.
This part of the show brought to you by Benzinga Pro. If you feel lost in the noise of the market, then you need Benzinga Pro. Benzinga Pro cuts through the clutter and gives you the insights you need to make smarter, faster trades. From real-time news to unusual options activity, we'll show you exactly what's moving on the market and why. Don't miss out on your chance to trade like a pro. Visit benzinga.com/pro to start your free trial today. Nice.
This time it's not. Oh, now we are $1 away right now. So $5 in the money. CrowdStrike just touched 298.50 right there. Loving the music here. Some great, look, we got to add some excitement. I don't know I'm sure it's exciting when I'm not here. I'm trying to make it exciting when I am right here. So there it goes. It's a nice move for CrowdStrike, man. We're having a lot of fun on the show, right? I mean, I remember sitting here with Obi. I think it was last Friday when you were having your surgery there. We had $3, $4, $5 winners across the board, man. He had the SPY, we had the TQs. I think we might have had Apple, maybe had Nvidia on board again right now. So let's see if we can have another exciting close here as CrowdStrike $5 in the money. And I'm bidding right here. I'm bidding right here, man. $297.50. If we're able to get that, then let's go. It's only $1.40 away now for CrowdStrike. We have to be very, very careful, though. Like, we did get stopped out, remember, and then we reloaded it right back in there. And now, without any shadow of the doubt, right here, we're not going to hit it. We'll wait till we get out. CrowdStrike definitely putting some good trades out through. I may just get out if we take 301 again. Maybe, because that last little push there I did not like, but again, it was met by sellers all the way to the downside right here. So trying to make this sing a little bit. CrowdStrike so far is pretty much, we used to have the trade of the day. I think this would probably be it. I mean, this was a big one. That was big. And it's just a lot cleaner than PL2, which is Nvidia. I'm really impressed with the Intel trade, of course, as we only now have 15% left of this one. That was pretty good. I think Meta was good. We didn't take advantage of that very high take there. We got stopped out and got back in and made money on it, so that was a good one. Other than that, man, we don't really have anything else. Whoa, Alibaba. This short, I don't know. I mean, trade of the day, yeah, because it makes sense technically and we nailed it. But at the same time, it's not as not as special. I don't think as this crowd trade. So although this trade may be overcrowded right now, I really think that this 290.99 maybe we could change up our play and just get out right now. We'll see if that winds up happening here. 299 and change. Do we wait for $1.50 more or what? Maybe we just get out of some. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for everybody as we'll continue to try to work on these trades.
Yeah, and I think I'll just take it all out here on Starbucks. There's a seller very, very clearly at the $0.50 off that 78 bounce. So we did reload it, got some out there in the 25-30 range. And if it's not going to hold here at 78, let's wait back for like a 77 or maybe a VWAP trade or retracement. So we like that play on news where you get some kind of a bull flag, whatever you want to call it. It pulls back. You see a little bit of green, but it's starting to pull back into the downside. So we want to respect that and then wait for the next level into the downside. If it wants to hold at 77, fair enough. There was a question about Reddit. Why did it fall to the down? I haven't seen any news specific to Reddit that would have caused that volume spike. I think just trend down with market is probably the answer for that one. So I was looking, did not see anything on my radar specific. So if you're asking about Reddit in the chat, don't really see any reason for that fall. Gonna have the eyeballs on right back over to Starbucks. Still has that potential. It's just potential that you could drop into 77 or VWAP. If it reestablishes 78, we might have another go at it. Just some scalp trading on some volume here. 16 mil, good overall here on Starbucks. We can probably continue that for the rest of the afternoon.
All right. All right. I was just thinking about, I canceled my bid on CrowdStrike. What else am I going to do? Right here, nice move down in. I don't know. I mean, I actually just went over and told Sharif, I was about bidding 298 right there to get out in front of this trade. That would be $7, but at the same time, I wonder if it falls more. I mean, it's just a matter of, do we retest down here? I mean, it's pretty obvious where this thing wants to go, right? I mean, does it want to go higher? So this is only 301.50. The 50 period used to be my stop all the way up here. Now it's clearly starting to point to the downside. So maybe we'll just have some fun here into the close and see what happens. We're already out of 2/3 of this trade, and I'll probably wind up holding it. So I don't know. Starbucks for me, as we just talked about it with Neil, is not enough here. I would short the 78.50, but that's just something that I'm looking at. DraftKings, I'm trying to find names that are hitting on some scanners. So if there is anything, I'll be willing to look at that. DKNG here. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so this is near a level that I like. Another stock that's near a level that I like is Uber. But I'm not pulling the trigger on that. That would be another name that's kind of in my spot right now to pull something if it did come in. Would be Uber on a good news piece. I'd like to take that one. DraftKings right here, so that's why it's coming up on the scanner. It does make its move back to VWAP. But you see what this is? A positive name. You see what this is? A negative NASDAQ. So for me, it is a pass. So we will flush DraftKings down the toilet right now because I'd rather trade weak names into a weak market. And I'm not even sure right now, despite holding on to this CrowdStrike, despite holding on to Alibaba, and despite being Intel short right now, 3 shorts, I'm not sure this market's a short, which is why all of these positions are pretty light right now. When we exit these trades, we will be infinitely at our highest spot today because of CrowdStrike and because of Intel and because of Alibaba. All of these are at the maximum positions net-wise for me today. So it's been really good holding on to these shorts. But look, if these futures take out this 19,750, then that could be a change. We've already broken through the 50 period, and it's trying to go. So me getting a little nervous, to be honest with you, on some of these shorts. Happy that we got Intel down there for sure, down at O's. Glad we talked about that. Glad we sort of indicated that to you. But that was a good out for us as we just started layering them out. So each one of these is like 15%, and we just have one left. So far, so good there on Intel. Again, another green name. I mean, that's really all that we can do. Bitcoin is breaking again. We need to go over to IBIT or something because this is starting to go. I haven't heard.
Mara's taking VWAP right now.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything in my ear about crypto, like specific news, but yeah, it is going. It held that 54,000, held that 58,000, and there we go, man. I remember buying IBIT and was pretty proud of it down at like $34 when it ripped all the way up, and we could have just got it again, even lower than that, down into 30. So, hey, man, buying dips in asset class like crypto seems to be working out for many traders. So congratulations if you're able to do that. I haven't really done anything. I unstaked everything. I unstaked my Ethereum. I unstaked my Solana. And just because you know what, to stake them, honestly, it's fine. It's like 5% or not even 5% a year. I just think that with the volatility, when they're staked, you can't trade out of them.
Yeah, what if you want to take profit?
So I just wanted to do that. To me, it's not really worth the risk. Not when the thing is moving 5% a day, Fabian. So that's why I did do that. We made a lot staking Solana. I think that might have been the 5% one. We actually made more than 1 or 2 coins. So that turned out to be really good, paying for like all the fees and everything, right? So Ethereum, I don't have that much. So to stake 2 or 3% per year, it's not really worth it. So
that's the only thing I've staked.
My opinion, I unstaked. So.
Yeah, but I only own for real Bitcoin and Ethereum. I have like small amounts of like testers. When I open a Coinbase account, when they IPO'd, I was like, if we're gonna trade it and maybe own some Coinbase, maybe I should try them out. And then I bought like 4 or 5 different things and like ho-hum. I think I bought Doge one day for like a really small amount. And I just whatever. I don't care about it. But the ETH I'll stake because I don't really. If I want to get out of that one, I also own the Purpose ETF here in Canada for that. But Mara, with that move on crypto, I wanted to point out Mara's breaking out above VWAP here. So it's getting back into the upside. If it starts to hold above, I think maybe a room to that $25 level is in play. Apple's almost at $225. It's halfway there. Not quite. It's not there just yet. Sharif just said short VWAP. I know, but it's not actually at VWAP, Sharif. But it's trend up. So it's trending into 225. That's the plan of action, is to short this one at VWAP. It's just not seemingly like it wants to get there, unfortunately, is what it is. DVDRD, I remember when Coinbase was $62. Yeah, I remember that too. Coinbase, maybe it'll go back there. I'm thinking it's probably unlikely that we see that again.
And there's the trade right there. I mean, we just got hit. It just got hit at 297.50. We did not have our bid there, but it got hit. So right down there, 297.50. Nice move to the downside. It just broke 298 and clapped it. Nice move back in right there. I should see if it actually hit it. I know it went on the bid. I don't know if it went on the offer. 297.57 right there was the out. I could tell you where I canceled. Let me see if I would have got filled, just for example here. CrowdStrike. No, I was at 297.50 exactly. So I would have got, was that true? I thought I was a little bit higher than that. No, that looks like that was right. So I would have got missed right there by 5 cents. So that would have been painful. But right now, let's just see if it goes. So there it is. So it does come in. It does touch the level that we liked down there. Oh, no, I think it might have just hit there anyways. 297.53s anyways. Let's see what does happen here on CrowdStrike. A nice bounce back off of the level that we picked up. So if you didn't like the short, maybe you like the long. There's $1.50 long off that call again. Man, it just goes back and forth. That was a little bit too crazy of a scalp there. I should have got out and reloaded it now, but hey, you never know. I could still come back in here. 297 and change coming through for CrowdStrike. Big trade alert, man. Big trade alert. We talk about some guy named Big Kyle Burdett. I mean, this is a big trade alert right here. So, I mean, yeah, Real Trading. We shout that out all the time. Make sure you do check them out, realtrading.com, our #1 sponsor, the place I've been working for 22 years, giving a lot of opportunity to a lot of traders, and it's about time you get that opportunity in your life as well. There it is. It's a nice move downside right there for the stock, and a nice move to be part of Real Trading. You know, it cost me today for 200 shares of ARM, it cost me 25 cents. So definitely play that right now with Real Trading. But Neil, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if you got anything out on the way down. What's your play there on Intel? Because it's all the way back up.
I've been waiting for VWAP. Like my stop has not moved on this stock, and I'm on VWAP right now. Mara broke VWAP. We got the long above VWAP on Mara. We'll get to it in a quick second. But it came in right here. It's not really at the top yet. This is 33.27 was that high. So it breaks out above 30. You can see like the 33.30 level. We mentioned this one yesterday. It breaks that. I want to jump out of the trade, but I want to short VWAP in here. And it's a matter of choosing at this point between Apple and Intel. So it's getting in there. Intel gets there first. So I feel like it's going to be Intel, but I want to go over to Mara. Mara broke VWAP, held above. I got some here at 60. It just pressed. It was a big seller for like 100,000 shares right at the $70 level. Sorry, 70 cent level on Mara. They got some of it filled, and then I think they pulled the rest, at least from what I could tell. We're going to buy a dip into VWAP here on Mara. As long as Bitcoin stays strong, I think we can hold for it over there in MARA.
All right, back again. Guess who's back? Shady's back. Tell a friend. Wow, there it goes to the downside. And guess what just happened right there? We're reloaded. We reloaded some Intel right there. $7 now, $6.50, sorry, in the money on CrowdStrike. We'll wait to see where that goes again into the afternoon. Intel, now 4 cents, an amazing 4 cents now in the money. We will retrace that up right now for Intel. I laugh, but again, it's just, you know, trying to show you guys the different capabilities, man. I mean, look, we can have $7, $8, $20 winners, and we do. We can also scalp out, and we do. So, you know, shout out to Big Kyle Burdett, who's out there feeding the cows. And guess what? Ain't nothing wrong with that right there. Go get that beef money right there, because we're sitting here trading. And a shout out to you, Mr. Burdett. And, you know, again, that's what it's all about. And, you know, Brett and I started that Freeman Wealth podcast for reasons, right? And it was exactly that. Be able to trade. We talked about, and I'm glad we didn't go to the beach right now. You know, we're trying to move up the ladder, and we're adding to our net here. We're at our highest spot all day, but at some point, it's making those trades, making those early trades, right? Putting that money in your pocket and then seeing where you go from there. That gives you the freedom to be able to go out there and do other things. And this is a perfect example of that right now as we sit here and watch out for some of the damage being put on the board. All right, I'm going to get out of this if it breaks 300. That is where the 50-period moving average is right now. We nailed that bottom completely. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Obviously, we did not get out. I was waiting for another thing. What it does tell me again, and this is what I mean. I could journal whatever I want. I'm trading here live. I'm very aware of the mistakes and whatever I'm doing. And I just think that was a great call. We picked the level. It was there. I did not take it. So right now we have to respect the 50-period moving average, which is at 301, $300.50 basically. So I'm going to respect that and get out if it breaks. So again, congratulations, anybody that took that low bid right there. If you're nervous about this trade, you can get out right now. It's $5. I mean, that might be good for you. Up to you. I just talked about where I'm going to get out. I'm going to respect this 50-period moving average. And shout out to Professor who's here. What happened? Gym closed? It's Obi's birthday.
Gym's
Shout out to
open.
Bert. Shout out to Obi right now, getting ready to go out and put some damage on the streets of Toronto is Obi.
Ladies
Watch out there,
beware.
ladies beware. If you're out on the street today and you see Obi walking around, turn the other way, or you may get involved with a trader. And trust me, ask my wife,
Or
you don't want that.
walk next to him and maybe you'll get hooked up.
You don't want that. Fabian.
Shout out Curtis Cash. Appreciate you, Cash man. We're blessed to have you, Mr. Cash. You guys have blessed my trading for over 2 years. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here for 2 years, and we appreciate the super chat. We'll give you a big thumbs up there as well. So we love that community. Just to go back over it, there's seller at 70 on Mara. It dipped back into VWAP. We picked some up in front of 55s and 56. It goes right back up into the 70 level where there's still there's no size up there, but there's certainly some refreshing orders up there. So what I saw at the 70 level, the guy's not there anymore, but they're certainly still selling it. So maybe they flashed the order and whatever. Now they're being a little bit more nuanced about it. Bitcoin's still pressing towards 67,000. So as long as you're holding VWAP, that's all that matters. If we lose VWAP, we just get out of it. It looks like we did get ticked up. Yeah, Intel did eventually tick this high. So right back in at the same level. This is like 22, 23 up here. So I finally got a reload when it actually breached this high, came right back into the downside. We're going to get the early look in about 20 minutes. At that point, I'll either I'll say something about Walgreens or just cover the trade and get out of it. But I'm expecting a little bit of fire at the end of the day as well on that particular name. Starbucks, which is the other one that we were tracking in on. All right, so I thought 78 doesn't hold. Okay. Let's wait for it to pull back into 77, maybe a little VWAP. So we took a scalp trade. Looks like if you stuck with it, maybe just went to the same level. Starbucks still up that 6% on the Elliott story there. So Starbucks still holding those highs. Could easily break them. We pivoted tomorrow when we saw everyone talking about Bitcoin and looking strong there. So Mara about to break this 70 level. There's been a refresher. I have an order in front of 75. If it takes that out, it's like wait and see what happens at 25 even. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But upside here for Bitcoin and the miners. Not that their business is going to be as good as it was previous to the halving. But some of them have been pivoting, and I think it's a good thing for them because you got to have some kind of an exit plan if you're a miner.
All right, and we just had an exit plan right now as well. That was a good idea, or was it? We do get out and put that money on the board there for our good friend CrowdStrike. And guess what? It is a couple dollars away from being the number one stock for me. It still remains Nvidia, and it's too bad, but I'm just happy as, you know what, that we nailed that. We are a support and resistance trader. We should have got out there. So we learned our lesson, but we get out for 250 more. That sucks right there, but nice out there at the 50-period moving average. We stick to our plan, and look, there it goes. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be able to do this without the platform. So again, I just definitely want to make sure that I shout out again Real Trading, because there it is again for us right there on Intel. So it's like, you know, you take the trades. Obviously, you take a lot of shares there because it's at that level. We talked about why we like VWAP. We tweeted it out. We even tagged Brian Shannon right there. So there it is again. So obviously, we're going to take that trade coming through right now. One negative name on the day, and it was Oracle. And it's right. It's just, it wasn't right when we had it. That bottom was 138.30. We got out at 138.40. So 10 cents save. We could have swept the board here today, but we'll take it at the end of the day right there. So yeah, happy as Hawaiian punch. What's up, YouTube? What's the record on what? I don't know. If you want to know what record we're talking about, I could definitely look that up. I do want to quickly talk about it. You know what? Let's go over to Real Trading right now and find out yesterday. Since we're talking about trades, you can see some of the successful trades I've had on here today. Let's see what some of the traders over here at Real Trading. So this is a trader information portal available to everybody that signs up here with us at Real Trading. And you get a bunch of information, different promotions happening, different links, TMX trading, what's popping off there over on the junior exchange here in Toronto, the TMX. Here it is, compare your profits. So, all right, yesterday, all right, a little bit of a subpar day, it seems like. Someone there trading New York and NASDAQ made 19,700. That's a good day. Someone traded Amex Chicago, the CME, those are the futures, New York and NASDAQ, made $17,000. An Amex trader, so if you ever see me or anybody else do .am, that's going to be NYSE ARCA, the Amex exchange as listed on there. So someone yesterday traded that exchange and the NASDAQ and made $13,000. Someone traded the Canadian markets, the TSX, and this is where it gets a little bit, come on guys, what are you guys doing? There's 6,000 on Canada, another 6,000. We can go on and on and on and on and on. And then right there, yeah, a lot of Canadian names on there. Neil, might be worth going through and looking at some Canadian names. I'm going to stay where we are because
24-hour trading, by the way, real trading.
That,
Australia and Blue Ocean. Blue Ocean is the overnight market for the North American market. So someone's spending their nights trading. Well, Australia, I don't know.
Russ, is it?
It's Russell Jackson.
Russell Jackson.
Russell
That's
Jackson.
it. Yeah, I was going to say Russell Peter. It's going to get it out of my mind. Right there.
Russell
Australia.
Jackson.
So you've asked us about Australia before. You've definitely PM'd me. And there it is right there. Australian Blue Ocean. So I would say most of the money's probably made in Australia there rather than Blue Ocean. But I don't know that to be true. So there it is. That is what your profits are looking like. And if you guys are one of us, then you might be like us, okay? So there it is. It's a nice move right there. Thank you, Starbucks. That's definitely paying for, you know, again, you get those little matchas going through right there. You want to look at some Roblox? We could do that as well, but let's just check out Starbucks one more time. Nice little move to the upside, 78.50. I like. It's only 6%, man. This stock is going to go way more than that. So I'm looking for 90s here. I'm feeling like we got long yesterday. I can check the account, but if I just look here, I'll know roughly the price. It was in the midday, so I would say it's in and around here. Let's call it 74.75, or I don't care the price, whatever you want to call it. In there, somewhere during the midday. Same thing as Nike. We dipped in a little bit. These are big, not big, but they're long-term holdings of mine that I've had for a very long time. Adding on weakness to names that we like. By the way, Intel right now, again, Neil, I mean, sometimes it's easy. And I told you about the Intel Whisperer, and we just got short. So right there, 33.15. Let's take some more out there on Intel. It's one hell of a day here in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Happy birthday, Mr. Padawan.
Yeah, big happy birthday to Obi. I know the boys are going to enjoy this one for sure. And of course, all of them, best of luck at the close. Maybe SMCI does something, maybe it doesn't. Yeah, that Vegemite I don't know if it expires, but that stuff is rancid at this point. It smells pretty nasty. So that was a genuine reaction when I actually just checked it out. But the question, where is he?
It smells nasty. That thing is nasty. Dude.
Well, okay.
I can't believe
it doesn't normally smell good.
It normally smells horrible.
But what it smells like now is like infinitely worse than when we opened that thing up a couple of years ago.
Let me see.
No, it's much worse than when we opened it the first time, I think. And I made the mistake of having a spoonful, was it a couple months ago?
Yeah, you lost
something like that. And we made some kind of a bet, and I was like, I have a spoonful of Vegemite. And that was,
at least we're here for something.
No, but if I make a bet, like I'm one of those, I'll stop myself from saying it because I'm gonna do it if I make a bet. It's just that simple. Like I'll never renege on a bet.
Integrity.
It is what it is at the end of the day. No, it's just like I don't like. Some people will be like, I didn't really mean that. I'm not gonna do push-ups at the draft. I'm not naming names.
Right.
Or I'm supposed to do 100. Was 100?
Our friends are idiots. I mean, that's
the guy said he was gonna do 100 burpees if he lost a bet.
Yeah, but our friends are idiots. We already talked about that. You're not an idiot.
He had like 35 or 40, and then he gave it up.
Ding. No. I mean,
if it takes y'all, just do it, man. Just do it.
Yes.
At the end of the day.
Yes, no, it's all for fun. Never goes bad. That's what I'm telling you, Neil. Honestly, it smells the exact same, and it is not good tasting, man. Look, everyone can like their own stuff. I actually at practice yesterday, listen to this story. So we were done practice. It was, by the way, I got a super chat there. It was from Jer Lewis.
There's a date on the bottom. No, that's...
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's a production date. Sean, wrong hat. It's all about the Red Sox. So my Little League team is the Red Sox, so I do coach them. So I do have an affinity for that. But yesterday it was so funny because after practice and we're just chilling out, we play zombie ball where I throw wiffle balls at them and they can just try to crank these things. And at the end, I just said to people, because I was like, man, it's 8 o'clock. I haven't even had dinner yet and blah, blah, blah. I was asking people what they're having and someone was having pizza. And then I said, okay, oh, by the way, look at CrowdStrike right now. You want to talk about saving yourself some cashish right there. Not hashish there, guys. Some cashish right there. We just got out. That's saving ourselves right now, $350 on the out. So again, can't do it any better. But, and we called that bottom, by the way. So the thing was, is that I said, okay, what are your favorite toppings? Now, this, I feel like they don't watch the show. I've never talked to them about pineapple. But I'm telling you, half the kids, and I was like, you have to be kidding.
On, son.
I'm
You're
telling you.
This up.
You would
doing that.
Remember we talked about integrity.
Because you know it's going to
No. Integrity. This is why we're here. I'm talking about trades, integrity. Telling you guys the truth, integrity. For some reason, this is why the story is hilarious. I was almost thinking it was a troll. They're like, oh no, someone's like, I like pineapple. But then I figured it out later. My daughter went and she actually likes pineapple on pizza. And she said that. And then the thing about it is, she's the only girl on the team.
And then exactly.
And there's a lot of dudes crushing. And and the thing is, and she's an elite player. So that's what I'm saying.
So they don't really like the pineapple.
I don't know.
They're just.
I mean, I'm hoping, unlike our friends, they have integrity, but I'm thinking 10 to 11 to 12-year-olds, potentially.
12-year-old boys?
I was as surprised. But
I'm just saying. A little sus, if you ask me.
Story time.
It's a little sus. I'm just saying, I'm going to think it's the. I'm not like, what, maybe they like the pineapple on the pizza, but the other explanation sounds pretty plausible in my opinion as well. It's a very plausible explanation as to why the gentleman.
You could not like pineapples on pizza.
No, it's absolutely fine. By the way, there is a date on this, and I'm pretty sure we got this before 2022, and there's a date on the bottom that says 2022 April, and I'm pretty certain we got this in 2021. Apple got to VWAP, but it might break it. AMD got to consolidation level, so it might go 1 for 2 on these pop shorts. But AMD's here. That's the one that's pulling back. Apple is the one that's pressing in to $225. So it's tested this once, twice, thrice, 4 times here at $225. If this is the time that it goes, then we're going to take, it's like actually my first Apple trade of the day. Then we'll go for 1 on Apple. Mara is trying to break, but that's going up, market's going up. The concern is the thing that is not pulling back for me here, which is going to be Apple. We got 8 minutes until we get the early look on the imbalances. If this breaks out, maybe we wait till this calms down at about 330 when the numbers do come out here. I'm expecting a number on potentially Walgreens and SMCI, but it's just potential. All right, I have my stop at VWAP there, not Nvidia. Mara, next offer is going to be out at $24.90. So no reload off VWAP. It can't get there. We'll just get some out in front of 25 even. And then next stop, we'll see how it reacts to the even dollar. You probably already mentioned that Intel came in to the downside. It's holding 33.10. Holding a higher low here is Intel. So it's cresting higher. This looks like you could be breaking back out to the upside. So you got to be very, very careful. Apple breaks 225. We're going to jump out of it. I think if one's weaker than the other, for now it looks like it's going to be AMD, but even this is screaming to the upside. So I'm going to hold Mara, but keep a tight stop on AMD, just like we did with Apple.
Tight up. Right there, 33.23 is where we're short. We just took a bunch of fills out here at 33.16 and 33.17s as well. Man, we are having probably too much fun here this afternoon, but that is what it's all about. I mean, look at that CrowdStrike, honestly. Like, this is now right back here. It's at VWAP. I am not going to reload this one as it's gotten really violent to the upside. Again, just to go over that trade, we had mentioned right here that this was a possible spot where it was going to potentially dip out. And that's exactly what happened right there with CrowdStrike. So here's the line. We were looking right here at this pre-market bottom of whatever this, actually that's a little bit high, that's 96s. But at the end of the day, it was right here, 297.50, a good little look there for us on that name. So far so good there with CRWD, looking half decent for that opportunity. So yeah.
67?
Good job there for CrowdStrike. Intel trying to come back in. And guess what? When you've got shares on board, it allows you to get in and out of this. So we're going to just try to scalp this out. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, I know you just mentioned, I think that's a good trade there. You just got into Apple. We'll see if that can do something. But for right now, we're just going to hold on to Intel and really just go from there. So Alibaba, we have... This position is like such a small one. I would really love to reload this at VWAP, but Alibaba, as we know, some of these Chinese ETFs take a little bit of a break in the afternoon. So maybe Tesla, I'm still looking for some scanners right there. The big trade that I never got into, which is really a shame, and I think it would have been a really good one to trade today, is ARM. And we had this written here on the sticky note. Go find it at Trader TV, Sean. But we had written down ARM 160 long. And unfortunately, that was, again, another good trade, but we weren't able to get into it. So it came right in there. I was bidding right here. I missed it by 5 cents. It was actually live on the show when we had this come in. It was just at 10 o'clock. I was bidding just below this at 160.50. The spread opened up and we never got filled. So that was a great opportunity to get long, and definitely this name for me today would have been a green one because we were only trying to go long down here. But the thing is that you never know, right? Like this could have came in and just absolutely spanked it if it hit 160. So unfortunately, we don't get that opportunity to see. But ARM today, missed opportunity because it didn't really trade that much. And right now it's a little quiet. We'll play this upgrade on Monday. And there it goes. I mean, again.
This is a weird question.
Intel.
The Piper, no. Any chance Intel goes green? Intel's down 4.9%, and there's 34 minutes left in the day. So I think you try to never say never, but I'm gonna say there is pretty much no chance. Pretty much no chance. It's a non-zero would be the answer to the question. Like it's as close to zero without actually being zero. And it was a question like, what would I swing for a crypto name? I suppose. Like it's the answer for me would be Mara because it's got that big level underneath. So I'd ask myself, well, if Bitcoin is continuing this trend to the upside, Mara 23 was a huge breakout, and we just bounced in front of it. So that gives you a zoom the wrong way. That gives you a good level to play off of. Like I know where I'd be wrong. It's like okay, you're well above it. So if you're in at 25, you're risking like 10%. We're actually less than 10% at that 23 level. So it's because of that level that I like Mara. Pull back into prior resistance is going to be one of my favorite things to do as far as I'm concerned. We did get that fill in Mara, so it popped into 90, pulled back, and got some out at 85s in there. So straight to the upside here is Mara with Bitcoin now tagging still, actually, it already tagged 67, holding 67,000. So strong move over there. AMD, not at VWAP, but it's holding 152.80. Lower high here on advanced micro devices. We got 3 minutes till we get some imbalance data. Don't know if it's going to move anything, but certainly anticipating we could see something. It's a Friday. It is also the third Friday, so that actually matters. Third Friday, you get a little bit more action on the imbalance. We'll see if we get anything interesting. But for now, still looking for the short fades in front of VWAP, with the exception of Mara.
I wanted to ask you, because I don't know, did you keystroke out of Intel because it didn't break VWAP? I thought that was what your trade was.
I did, but the other direction. I keystroked out on the bid.
So you got filled out. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I was gonna say, I hope.
So it did this candle right here, and I went to just bid it, and I just bid it all.
Okay, good.
That's all.
Sometimes our VWAPs don't even match, and I was like, I know we're waiting for this, and I'm still in.
No, I know the reason my VWAP, if it ever doesn't match, it's actually on me because I use multiple charts. And there was a couple times that I haven't had it synced with when I start the data. So like one chart will start at 6 a.m. and then my black chart starts at 7 a.m. or something. And then I look up and I'm telling you VWAP because that's what I'm trading off of. And then I'm showing you guys the one here where, and if you're trading with real trading, we start my data at 6 o'clock. So that's where you're actually going to start getting data for the volume weighted average price, and that actually ends up mattering in the calculation. But it was a keystroke out, but ultimately it's an out that I think I would probably be wanting to get a lot out here anyways. And if we get back into VWAP, we have 30 minutes to be able to get short again.
Yep.
So we could always come right back in. I might as well just jump on the offer again in case we get it. So I think we're going to be looking at this. I'm going to have eyeballs on the imbalance locator in about 1 minute. If I see a sell, an early look sell on Walgreens, I'm probably just punching short. I'm not thinking there's going to be a sell. If there happens to be one, they're coming out of the index. I'm not going to trade SMCI unless it's millions and millions of shares to buy.
That's right. We got to look.
That's the only way I'm trading. SMCI has to be really, really obvious. Walgreens is $18 stock. $17 stock.
The problem is Walgreens is on NASDAQ.
Or sorry, $11 stock. What am I saying? I'm thinking
11 or 12, yeah.
$11 stock. So if Walgreens has a big imbalance, then I feel like that's going to be easier to trade. So NASDAQ 100 is giving the boot to Walgreens, and it's giving the old ad to SMCI. So good luck, everybody. Early look has come out. You're not going to get the NASDAQ names. We'll see the actual imbalances for Walgreens at like 350. That's when I would punch short if I saw something. But New York names, nothing of note, except for whatever ETRN, 17 million shares to sell. So I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume ETRN is probably moving out of some kind of an index. It's only done 9 million shares,
like
whatever the stock is. That seems like a lot of shares. I'm going to go see if we're expecting something on this ETRN.
Man, once again, guys, the iced coffee at the end of the day has brought in very, very much profit. Here one more time, check Intel as there it goes right down into the 50 period. So, okay, guys, if you're with me, then we are, get it ready. We are reloaded. So that was a good trade there for Intel, obviously, as we reloaded that trade. And now it starts to fall back in as well. And you want to talk about an out. Oh, my. Let's face slap that. I mean, that's the 50 period moving average. That's the trade. Look, there's other traders out there, honestly, that will put together YouTube videos and show you, hey, this is what I did, or this is what I would do if this happened. This is actually what I did, and this is like trading it in real time. It's not going back and putting a nice little move on there. It's not wondering like, oh, did this guy actually make these trades? I mean, you're sitting here watching me do this every single day. I mean, this Intel, we talked about reloading this, and then when it comes back in, there's a bunch of outs there. There's another out at the 200 period. Let's get back into the downside. There's an out at 333 flat as well. So it's like, these are actually trades, and we're putting them on, and we're trying to show you that, what we're doing here is entertaining, educating, and hopefully, and thank you for the super chats that come in all the time. And the most super chats come in on the midday show, and that's why I keep on telling you guys, you have to watch this show. Tons of education there. Honestly, for me, it's like I'm sitting here, I know the strategies that I like to trade off of, and it's just like the minute you can find that, everything just opens up. And it's like that. This would be a good time to go, but I have no idea what that is right there. But yes, the Red Sea parts when you figure it out, and all of a sudden you can see clearly now, nice. And I can see right here that if I do not throw it to Adara, then she will be very mad at me.
No, she won't.
Of course not. And I realize, look, the fact that I brought, and I'm really glad that Neil and I are now splitting, of course, the recap show. But, when I was like, I said to Brendan, I'm like, you know what? I'm bringing Adara on with me. And I feel like that decision was worthy of a dancing, ridiculous me in a hot dog costume. Adara at the big screen.
Thank you for the kind words there, Sean. The market here has not been kind to a few names. We're going to talk about some of these names making larger, outsized moves to the upside or downside here, starting with American Express. Recovering pretty nicely, making a bit of a double top. You're still down, though, almost 3%. They beat on earnings per share, but they missed sales estimates, though they did raise their EPS guidance for fiscal 2024. AXP, first one on the list. Next up here, we have ISRG, another earnings name, beating heartily here for both earnings per share and sales. And last but not least, SPUX. This one popping up nicely in the afternoon as we did get a report from the Wall Street Journal that Elliott, which is an activist investor, has an undisclosed stake in SPUX. Also, there were previous rumors that Starboard was involved, but we're going to have to wait and see here. Activist interest for SPUX, guys.
Shout out to Benzinga Pro for being able to get the news to us live every single day. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You want a catalyst to trade. I can confirm that whatever this, what is the name of this? It doesn't matter. ETRN, the 17 million share imbalance, it is a delete. It is being deleted from the S&P 400. But I can't see the actual number. The link to tell me how big it's supposed to be isn't really working. I'm asking the guys on the desk if they have it. So we had Apple the first time. It broke VWAP. It came back underneath 225. We grabbed it a second time. Falls into 224. We'll grab that out. Probably going to have to get out of Mara because, as usual, the market is tanking it or moving down at the end of the day. AMD failing off of VWAP as well. The concern will be if you have a long, are we going to reverse it? I said we get to 25, we'll see what happens with Mara. For now, it's breaking in toward 25. If it fails at $25, then VWAP is 24.5 into 25. That's some easy math for you there. 50-cent move on the stock. Makes a lot of sense from station to station here on Mara. What the heck happened to HIMS?
Well, HIMS and hers, of course. HIMS and hers right now. I don't know if they're having a disagreement or not, but right here, there's voluntarily cooperating with an FTC inquiry is HIMS and hers. So, all right, that's the story. I just dropped it. So right there, HIMS and hers. It looks like it could halt. Remember, this is 2050 right here. We're bringing this to you. Another shout out to the Benzinga team because there it is right there. HIMS and hers says it's voluntarily cooperating with this FTC inquiry. So there goes Benzinga Pro once again winning on this nice move to the downside for HIMS and hers. And if you're looking at this one, yeah, breaking through the 50-period moving average. I don't know if there's a trade on this. I don't even know what this FTC inquiry is. I thought these guys were part of oh, by the way, Bitcoin now 67 and really going now. BTC, like Neil there, I'm in ETFs as well as the damn coin, and I'm wondering about getting some out. This is a nice move all the way back up. Nah, I'm not getting anything out. Nice move there. Coinbase probably going. HIMS and hers part of that GLP-1, I thought. Yeah. So I don't know why the FTC isn't looking into this. But right there, Coinbase rate, I don't know. So Coinbase right now up 11% as Coinbase continues to work, man. Taking out 263 and change right there as well. And taking over the spot right now, thanks you again. A big congratulations to Patrick, having a great day today. Adara and Patrick putting up nice days today. Look at Coinbase, nice move up. And we say Patrick because I'm going to take one guess. Did you trade Mara today? Only Mara, and that's what we're talking about. I really, really feel like it, and I'm going to give props up. We've already said this to Brankles and the rest of the boys around here. I'm seeing much more specific names, specific trades, bigger size on individual names. That's what's been printing here today. Good job there by Big Patty Eyes, BPI, right there for another good trade there. We're going to just hold on to Intel, man. Intel right now, good trade. Good trade. It's not really doing much. Paying for dinner, maybe. Nice move to the downside there for Intel. And then Alibaba. I might just get out of this to not influence like other people if you're just thinking about Alibaba. I'm really, really light in this name. And honestly, let's just do that. If we take out 45, let's just get out of Alibaba. It'll be a 15-cent win. Our best in, we've reloaded this name twice. So our best fill was down here, 25s. We're kind of waiting for that again. Let's see if Alibaba can go. We were nervous when we first got it because I thought it was going to break the 200. Didn't. We reloaded it. Alibaba really scheduling out well for us right there. And I almost shorted Neil CrowdStrike, but it didn't give us that in.
I wonder if it'll have an imbalance on CrowdStrike.
I could put the Fibonacci there. That might have been a good one.
The fibs may be working. We'll have Trader Tammy on to talk a little bit about Fibonacci's with the Fibonacci princess herself. So I'm sure, well, I already know what she's going to mention. Obviously, CrowdStrike and the outage is going to be a big story today. There's simply no question about it. So there's no point me spoiling it because you know she's going to mention it herself. There was a tap of 25 even exactly So, I mean, Mara got to exactly $25. Found a bit of a seller, so jumped out of that one. Apple worked to the downside. We got 164 out on Apple. AMD still cresting, still trending down into the low. 151 is also, it's a great number, first of all, 151. Maybe we'll have a little bit of that. For moving that at my house, nothing spectacular, but I like that 151. Little run punch action is a good way to go. But AMD down into 151. We have 10 minutes till the imbalances come out. Oh, yeah, that E, and thank you to Brankles. He screen capped that thing. So that ETRN is actually expected to be 36 million shares to sell. Right now, 16 million, 9 million paired volume. So the open interest is 25 million. So it could actually be quite big. If ETRN could come out bigger than this, we'll see. But it is in the right direction. It's supposed to be a delete from the S&P 400. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye on CrowdStrike here. Yet another update on this ongoing situation with that system outage. A senior administration official for the Biden administration saying that Biden is going to be continuing to receive updates on that CrowdStrike tech outage, repeating that they're understanding that is not a cyber attack, but it's a facility technical update. So just an update there. Continuing updates going to be happening with the president's office with regards to this CRWD system outage, you guys.
Good for him.
Yeah. IRL Biden has no idea what's going on probably with CrowdStrike, but we'll find out about that real soon. And I don't know what just happened with Alibaba, but our stop got triggered right there at 45. Like basically just an insane little move there. It was down at 35, and I was like, okay, here we go. We put that. I wish we didn't put the stop in now, but whatever. We got 45s on that, so it's 15, 20 cents to go right there. I'm just playing about. I would say either candidate. I mean, this is CrowdStrike, right? It was an upgrade. It was not. It was a rollout that went wrong. They were not hacked. Anything like that. That's coming from CrowdStrike. So if you believe it or not, that's just from them. So I just don't think that any political anything is going to be able to figure this out.
Like
right?
things happen. You make a release. It doesn't. A mistake gets made.
It wouldn't be the first time that certain parties wasted taxpayers' money doing different things. So we'll find out if they're going to investigate CrowdStrike or not. But that's again, a good look. I feel like you need to be investigating when things go wrong.
It's an election year. You got to always be. It's got to be on the ball, right?
Oh, it's an election year. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure.
Well, I mean, apparently that's what I've heard. I don't really know if it's
right there. May or may not be. But right there, nice play down for Intel. You want to talk about a Trump trade? This comes right back into the 200 period moving average. So guess what we're going to do again? Here comes the plane crash coming in, and it's not Boeing. No. This is a crash of 5% down today for INTC, and we're going to take it out one more time. This is another trade here this afternoon. We have two trades for you so far. $6 winner on CrowdStrike right there. We only took 4. Nice move to the downside. And then, of course, Intel, the other one that we have on right there. So pretty good. It's 341. Looking for some more here. We talked about Reddit. We talked about Bitcoin. Bitcoin now 67 and change. Let me see what's going on here with IBIT. It's actually... The reason why I mentioned Reddit there is because obviously it's had a big move. But remember Reddit, I believe part of their IPO story was that they had some Bitcoin. Yes. So right there, Reddit today, with Bitcoin being up 5 or 6%, whatever it is, maybe it's not that much, 3 or 4%. Reddit being down, so we'll squash.
That is a ridiculous volume candle in the middle of the day.
Yeah, we'll squash. That's probably just either a fat finger or something, but it did make a move down. Did we ever get a story on that?
No.
There's IBIT 6%, so I guess we were closer to 6 than 4.
Wow, congratulations anybody that's, you got to find relative strength and weakness. And I know a lot of people were involved in the crypto names today, Coinbase and Mara and probably Riot as well. But with only 7 minutes to go, okay, so Apple came out. Apple hit 224 quarters in here. So previous support holds on, and AMD trailed out as well. So AMD kind of holding this 152 level temporarily. I'm still in WBA, but not really. Because I don't see there's no reason to continue scalping it at this point in the day. If everyone's expecting Walgreens to be a sell, if Walgreens comes out a buy, it's going to bust this out probably and surprise everybody, and then we'll just wait around to see what we can do on any potential flips. So I have a little bit left of Walgreens, and let's go to the desk with Adara.
We just did that FTC report with regards to Hims and Hers Health being investigated. Now, Bloomberg reporting that Occidental and Hess executives are both being probed here over OPEC communications issues. So it's going to be the antitrust concerns over price and supply coordination. So again, antitrust investigation here, probing executives at Hess and Occidental, OXY and HES here, as reported by Bloomberg. So volume spikes here for both HES and OXY on that news, guys.
So I don't know if you know this, but
Price fixing in oil,
I saw Enbridge. There was some Enbridge news there for oil as well.
Like every day.
I did want to say something because again, we talk about real trading and the kind of floor that we're on, and right now there's 15 accounts that have logged in so far today, and 8 of them are positive. And honestly, to me, congratulations to Wayne and to Brankles back there, because honestly, to get half the office green, I mean, that is wicked. And everybody, most traders will trade completely different styles. And I think that that's so cool that, you get that relationship, because often, and we talk about it, and this is why I appreciate Daniel on the podcast, when he was talking about some of the numbers and some of the, how tough this business actually is. So I think, batting greater than 500 right here today. A big congratulations to all the traders there behind us. So again, shout outs to all of them there. Most of them learning, of course, through daily trading lessons. You can join Sharif and Adara, and then they have their own meetings. And honestly, man, I don't know if
Twice a day, actually. There's a morning meeting, there's an afternoon meeting.
So
You'll see the guys. When you see nobody here at like 1 o'clock, it's because they're all in the meeting live.
Yeah, so great job there for Brankles. Congratulations on that one with Wayne as well. But look at Intel right now. There we go, man. We're doing it again. So lessons or not, right now, there it goes. Down to the downside, it goes Intel. And you are right, Sharif. Oops, we did it again right there on that one. I don't know. I was just saying, I don't know how much fun this show is. I'm sure it's a lot more fun. I'm having a lot of fun on a Friday. This is great. I feel like you've now found the best ever. I do apologize that I'm here. I know there'd be a lot more preference for Obi to be sitting here. Obi today, a happy damn birthday to Obi in the background. So there it is. Let's get some fruit salad for my guy right now. There it is. There it is. No, that's not the fruit salad. This is the fruit salad. Happy fruit salad birthday to Obi over there. And like I've already warned everybody, you see this man walking the streets of Toronto, go the other way. He's having a big day today. It's Obi. It's going to be a big one. We've got Sharif here. They're all ready to lock and load. Find these guys cruising the streets of Toronto tonight. And hopefully we don't have any power outages, because these guys are lighting the streets
kids,
up.
hide your wife. That's
right now.
Sure.
You definitely want to hide your wife. That is for sure. Intel right now. And don't tell your wife about the Intel whisperer. Shh. Because right now it's smoking. There goes Intel. Ciao. To the downside. It's another 30-cent winner. And man, oh man, we talked about having a good time. I don't know how many jobs out there are like this, but it's a good one when you have to and are forced to take vacay. But you know what? Taking vacation, I feel like we got rejuvenated. Now
it's important.
We took a lot of time off because of baseball and doing all that. We have some more coming up. Vacation time is very, very importante. So do not forget about taking some vacays.
I was pissed when I missed camping.
Yeah, exactly. Camping
that was
great.
Frustrating. And the worst part about it is I ended up taking 3 days off that week anyways, because I had MRI, surgery, and there was whatever other appointment I had that same week. But at the end of the day, family is everything. So
100%.
And I want to give a big shout out for Brankle. Sebastian asked in the chat, why wouldn't you just short that big imbalance to the sell side so that ETRN is being bought in an all-stock deal? So that means the acquiring company is going to have an index action one way, and ETRN is going to have an index action the other way. That makes them tricky to trade, because there's all kinds of hedging that algos can do, which means I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pull. I don't care how big that imbalance is. I don't want to touch it. Anytime it's an all-stock deal, that means there's 2 things at play, and the algos are going to win, and there's no edge. So I'm not going to touch ETRN. And shout out to Brankles for reminding me of that.
All right. We'll go again right now. Look at this. Here is, thank you, Jury Duty Day. We went and saw some Despicable Me. There's my kids and my family right there as well. And then here we go. This is me coaching the all-girls team here. And this is an awesome one. When I was playing baseball before I had my knee surgery, look at this. I was number 6, representing, the 6. And then there's my little guy, 6.5, right there. He's now 12, but this is when he was pretty young. Hey, what's up, KO? What are you doing, my guy? Oh, and this is when we saw Inside Out 2. My son, of course, Inside Out 2, not cool enough for him to be in this picture, but he was there as well. There he is. Oh, golf camp ended today. And he just told me he crushed it. He was really proud. He said he got a 6 on a par 4. So I was like, sweet. Boom. My lovely wife, so lucky to have her. There she is right there. This was hilarious because here I am getting the umpires, the coaches meeting, and there's my daughter. Like, here I am with hands on hips. There she is right there. I thought that was just hilarious that she had that. Thanks to my wife for catching that photo. And Starby's with my bestie right there. There she is right there, grabbing Starby's. Thank you so much for all the love on some of these posts. So there we go, man. Hey, we on one. We on one trading-wise, and we on one family life. No more important thing. Thanks, Neil, and everybody for bringing that up. All right, Neil, kill him with kindness. It's almost rebalance time. Let's see what's going on with that.
I just said I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole because it's an all-stock deal. It's now $65 million to sell, which is easily double what it's supposed to be, more than twice as big as we're expecting. So remember, SMCI going into the NASDAQ 100, Walgreens Boots Alliance coming out of the NASDAQ 100, and ETRN is being bought. And we'll see what happens at 350 when these come out. So it did come out as 57. Walgreens is a buy. Why is it a buy? Just punch out. Walgreens, remember, it doesn't have to come out to sell. $6 million to buy. So I just got out. I think it just came to 7s. I just got 7s. I don't see SMC on there. Nvidia, $2.7 million to the sell side.
Oh, boy.
That's a big one. Every day it's been sell. TSM, that's not that big. Apple, 800,000 into the sell side as well. Cisco, I don't see SMCI. Looks like it is just a big, if you guessed that Walgreens was going to come out the other way, it is $6 million to the buy side. ETRN, that is a massive, massive sell.
Yeah, there it is, man. We are short ETRN right now, of course, as Neil just mentioned it, man. Why not? There it is. We punch short. We wait for it to come out, and bang! There it is right there. It doesn't matter where your chicken's coming from, as long as it's a chicken dinner winner, and obviously you want to use free-run chickens and things like that. But there it is right now. Bang! We start to just top it up. It's ETRN, baby, and it was a good one right there. The chef is in the building with ETRN out of way more than half. We just played that as an imbalance trade. There it goes, man. You've seen me do this many, many times. It's ETRN, and it is in the pocket right there. Again, remember, it is the third Friday here, so there is a little bit of witching happening on right there. Bye-bye, ETRN. I have no idea about this stock, but the one thing that I do know is how to trade. And right there, that's what we're talking about. Nice move down there on ETRN. I mean, look, whether or not you're using technicals, whether or not you're using the imbalance locator, that's what it's all about. Nice move there for ETRN. Putting it back in. Want to make sure that you join us here at Real Trading. Why? So you could do this trade as well. I mean, we just talked about it. So it's on. Real trading happening right in front of your eyes right there. It's ETRN, and it's just another dub on the board there. So yeah, I mean, we're just having a great day. And there it goes. So again, from celebrating victories from Adara and everybody there behind us to now having a little celebration here for our own. And again, look, it's all about good karma, right? We just talked about family. We talked about all of that. We've got our lucky drink right here. So it's going to be 3 for 3 pretty big here into the afternoon. I'm almost out. I have like 5% left of this trade. I just scalped it all out as we went back down there. No point in staying in this one. Damage done, man. Days high, and we put this feather in our cap because we did it.
Dun, dun, dun. As we said, guys, this is a huge, huge imbalance. It is, I'd say, an order of magnitude bigger than it's supposed to be. At 355, if it stays, then I might stick around for a couple of extra minutes. We'll get up to the desk at the end. But if somehow this is still 60 million when they pair off at 355, then I think there might be a trade into the close on this one that I might stick around for. I found SMCI, and it's a sell instead of a buy. So there's nothing going on with SMCI. Big shout out. Appreciate you. We got a super chat here from Be Free. Watching for years. Finally update your email so you could sub. We deserve much more, and I will definitely tip you on tips. We appreciate you, Be Free. And we'll always be free here. That's what we're all about here. So enjoy the show. This is definitely going to be a fun one going into the close. Big time volume coming through. This is 3x the day's volume on ETRN, what the imbalance is stating right now. So we always talk about it being relative. You don't see that very often. I mean, a lot of times it'll be like 3 million on Nvidia. Nvidia's done like hundreds of million, 100 million shares it'll do easily. This is something where it's a huge, huge one. So keep an eye on this ETRN. At 355, I'm just looking to see if that number stays or grows. Pretty simple. It's 60 million, well, 57 million right now. If it gets bigger, I want to short. If it pairs off, want to do absolutely nothing with it. And Walgreens I'll also look at. It's starting to pair off. We're expecting this to be a sell because they're coming out of the index. It was 5.8 to the buy side. Now it's 3. So that's pairing off. If that turns into a sell, that might be an opportunity as well. So that's the eyeballs are on WBA, ETRN. You said Nike's pumping?
I don't know. Someone in the chat. I don't know if they're just trolling because of the stuff that we've been saying about Nike and how we're long. So, but honestly, guys, like the amount of money we just made on ETRN basically went right to the top. It's going to be like, other than the stocks that we've traded, like one of the top names there for today on the show. And that was just quickly, man. We planted purple flowers there on ETRN, right? Take shares, plant the flowers, and get the heck out of Dodge. See you later, ETRN. But we will wait to see right now if this imbalance stays or if it gets bigger or what. We're watching for this. I may just smack it one more time to the short side here if it does stick around, or we could flip it and go long the other way with only 3 seconds to go. 2 and 1. Let's watch out for ETRN. What happens now as it still stays a sell? So there is a nice move down. I did not get a chance to hit it there fast enough. It does, yeah, still 25 million to go. So you just could have made there 3 cents if you, or maybe 5 cents if you hit it to the downside there. 53s could have got into that. But again, I'm going to pass on it and just wait to see what winds up happening there. For me, Walgreens is just a small little sell. $11, really, how much is this going to go down? I mean, it could tank. We'll watch out for Walgreens. I am not in that one, as we'll just keep sort of the profits in our pocket here today. ETRN makes it look a little bit better. We'll see if there is a trade coming through on that one. But hey, man, we're already where we need to be plus on the day. So I'm going to hang out right now because, like I said, I've been not prone to, but I could do some damage here, and I don't want this day to turn around. So we'll sit here with only 4 minutes to go. Maybe a long on Meta, maybe. Yeah, you guys want, I mean, I keep on hearing that little Roblox animation, and I am loving Roblox these days. It's not even down on this NASDAQ chaos. We've been buying Roblox. I mean, look at this. You're almost right back to this break high that we've already been at, $42. I really like this name. We're long 35 and change here on that 34 hold. So Roblox going. And by the way, I told you we see dead people. And right now, we see dead stock. Intel, we're whispering this one to you all afternoon. And if you only have one trade, again, Intel right here, a big one. Good trade there at the end of the day for INTC. Only 3 minutes left, everybody. Please enjoy your weekend. Be safe, be responsible. You join us back here again on Monday, where I'll be probably acting a fool again.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. I mean, you just got to have a little bit of fun and action. I did punch short on Walgreens, but not much. There was no growth on the imbalance. It flipped to a sell and then stayed tiny. So I punched on the flip. It doesn't grow at all. There's only about 3 minutes left. So, it goes down from like here. It just broke the low of the day. And then there was like 1 million shares on the bid at $11 and it didn't break 11. So immediately jump out. Like 11's got a brick wall that I don't want to stand in front of if there's not going to be a bigger imbalance than that. So 2.6 million to sell is not gigantic. Good luck if you're still trading that ERTN or anybody out there. I'm going to head on over to this. We got Tammy, the Fibonacci Princess, going to be doing the aftermarket show with us. So stick around. We'll have lots to cover, lots of fun here. But these imbalances are tricky. And I would be cautious about thinking about the print on that other deal because I think there's a hedge play that could skew that at the close. All
right. Good job there today. I just want to say thank you for everybody here. Thanks, Neil, for the content. Thanks, Adara, Sharif Trades. Thank you so much. Big BPI, Brankles, everybody, Fabian, Ramin, Brendo in the back. I want to thank. Did we have a guest today? I can't remember. Michael Noss, of course. I want to thank Michael Noss for coming through one more time for us as well. So, I mean, we can't do this alone. We need you guys as well. So thank you to Bears vs. Bulls and everybody that continues to watch us. I mean, ETRN was basically like a glove right there. We shorted that, boom, right when it came out. We knew nothing about it. We were just listening to what Neil was talking about, and we put money in our pockets. So there it goes, man. And then Intel as well. I don't know if we got out at the bottom or not, but Intel Good positioning, good trade there for the end of the day. Another reloaded VWAP position right there for Intel. All right. When are you in London? What's up, Adam? I'm in London beginning of August. They're supposed to be for 7 days. I cut it short because I got baseball, but we'll be there for 5. So 5 days coming through the week of the first week. I think it's August 3rd or 2nd or whatever. Whatever that first Saturday is, we arrive, and then I'm out of there Thursday. So if you guys want to hook up. I do, Adam, find me over there on Twitter. I want to know a restaurant that I cannot miss, that I got to take the wife to. So tell me that in London, Adam, and or anybody in London that knows of a world-class place. You know, I'll charge the company, you know, so don't worry about the, but no, just playing around. So again, let me know on that one as we go. Want to enjoy it, and she deserves the best. So unfortunately, she has to put up with me. So at least I can do is give her some good food. All right, so here we go. And we like that, right? When you're traveling, you want to sort of spoil yourself a little bit, I feel like, you know. Ask my kids about Rome. I mean, I feel like we might have single-handedly almost put gelato places out of their gelato supply. All right, here we go. With only 10 seconds left. There she is, Adara. You been to Rome or Italy or Europe? Yes, she likes it. There's something wrong with that countdown. The way you guys have it automated, it does not work. There it goes. It is over with right now because I hit that countdown right, and then it restarted again. So I feel like there is a problem there with the animation or automation, thereof. That Intel finishes near that bottom. ETRN, look at that. Disaster strikes there on the upside for ETRN. This is why I don't play with any sort of rebalances other than trading it IRI in real life and on the market without the close. But the closing imbalances, I've had crazy good days on closing imbalances, but now my heart can't stand it. So I just hold out for controlled trades during the middle of the day. But definitely in my youth, right there, we put up some big days trading some of those closes. So definitely worth understanding as that. Look, man, the time definitely passes here on Trader TV Live. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that's been here this week. What a great week it has been. I like taking Wednesdays off middle of the day, except for looking at the market and seeing what you're missing. ETRN, there must have been people maybe caught here after hours or what. There is 200,000 shares right here on the bid, let alone that ARCA as well. There's a couple million shares probably. He's sitting here. Someone likes the number 6. You don't think this is influenced right now? Someone's propping this up with this. I mean, I could take a screen cap there. Oh, now they're gone. So anyways, there it is. 63's just printed a whole bunch right there as we wait for the closing print. Looks like we might have just got it there at the end of the day. So ETRN, good trading there. I hope everyone has a great weekend now, and I'll throw it over to the desk. Ciao, everybody. Have a good one. We're back Monday at 8:30. Enjoy the recap show.
Yeah, welcome to the recap show. And just one, there was a Jay Lee just mentioning in the chat, like thinking that ETRN should have gone down. There was a buy program on it. Remember what we were trying to say at the end. It is being bought, all stock deal. So ETRN no longer exists and it gets rolled into the acquirer. So you have a little bit of a hedge trade going on. Anyone that wants to own the acquiring company can just buy shares of ETRN. Those are not usually ones you expect are going to automatically print to the downside because there's a sell and bounce. That was the cautionary. I don't think anyone should hold it into the close. That's what I was trying to get at there. But you know what you could have held into the close? Bitcoin today, Adara. IBIT, up here on TradingView, I'm going to show you guys the ETF. This is a 3-minute chart. You're 5.5 points to the upside, and that's just essentially since the open when this starts trading. What an unbelievable rally that this just put on. You cracked that 67,000 level on Bitcoin. Good one, great one. Mara was flying at the end of the day there. You saw Coinbase was absolutely charging pretty much the whole day. But overall, I mean, it was the other thing today, Adara. More continuation selling. SMH 3 points into the downside. USO not looking good. Gold was selling off. Energy was selling off. I mean, you've got the Dow was down 1% here today. Unless you're overly interested in natural gas, That was up 1 point today, so congratulations to anyone trading the Widowmaker to the long side. I mean, even the weed stocks didn't have a good day today. Come on now. It's Friday. It's Friday, and the cannabis names are down 4 points. So kind of concluding the week here with a little bit of sell action continuation. Maybe not as nasty as it was the last couple of days here, Adara, but certainly a lot of the shorts continue to print. Even Berkshire down 1.5 points. I mean, the things that have been strong were just participating. So overall, you ended off on a bad note for the market, but you ended off on a good note for volatility in traders.
Yeah, there were lots of fun opportunities today. Every time you thought, oh, this Friday could not get more exciting, it kind of did. We had Starbucks moving. We also had some of those oil names moving at the end of the day with regards to that FTC investigation as reported by Bloomberg. Talking OXY, I'm talking HES. HES also with some kind of share offering as well coming through. So there were certainly some opportunities, I think, across the board today. Certainly a really fun trading day I found, and just even watching it on this side of the desk as well, deeply entertaining.
Yeah, definitely entertaining. And this is the thing about trading. Remember, everybody, whether it trends up or trends down, it's just opportunity, right? Like if you just sit out a short day just because you don't like when the market goes down, you're missing those trading opportunities out there. So, make it where you can. You would have seen in the afternoon, you had Intel falling VWAP, you had Apple falling VWAP, you had AMD falling VWAP, you had every single crypto name going to the upside. You can pick and choose your battles. You had Starbucks, which Elliott Management, the news came out. They are the activist investors. So people seem to like that one. Starbucks up 6.5 points. Check that, 6 3/4. Now 79.20. That came into 78 and went right back into the high. So this is why we have the live news, right? This is why Adara's on the desk and Brennan in the morning bringing you guys the goods. Because if you only like long trades, I think you had maybe, 2 options in the afternoon today? Trade something crypto related or trade Starbucks. But you know what? If you were paying attention to the news, then you would have found Starbucks and you could have been on Starbucks. So I think that was a great opportunity in here. As far as individual sectors go, I do want to quickly highlight what is continuing to go on with TAN, because something happened with the Trump-related stocks in that they were all going to the downside, but the pressure is remaining. So you would think maybe you get a bit of a relief rally for the things being negatively affected in that regard, but overall the solar ETFs just continued their plunge. So there's a lot of things that should be going their way, like the lowering of rates, typically going to be good for them. That's heading right back into the bottom. So I'm wondering where the bottom is going to be here. This would be the kind of name that if the other side starts picking it up in the polls a little bit, you kind of like to pick bottoms on TAN. I know for myself, I'm not going to. I'm going to make the assumption that ETRN just printed.
Somebody printed, so clap.
It had to, because obviously that was going to be a big one at the close.
Oh.
It must be Wayne. I don't know. I have no idea where this thing closes. I'll get those guys to let us know. They're celebrating over there. I see Sharif over there. So hopefully it was something big over on that ETRN, which did delay the print that quite some time. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Awesome. I want to keep my ear to the ground to see what goes on over there. But I have a question for you specifically, Adara. Yes. What were you trading today on your best day? And the only other question would be, did you trade any IWM? I know you've been in that recently.
I had my eye in IWM. I had one trade in IWM. I wanted that long off VWAP. I believe it was 218. I want to say 30s or 40s. I didn't have it timed super well. I didn't risk a lot. It just wasn't really my style of trade. Had the one trade. It ranged a little bit in the afternoon below VWAP. Like when I say afternoon, I mean near the end of the midday. But I was a little preoccupied with some other names today because I had CrowdStrike, and I actually was lucky, and I'll explain why I use the word lucky in a minute. I was lucky enough to get that huge move down from 311. I was in CrowdStrike early on as well. I took a short off of it, 315 to 312. That was the first short I had off of it. Then I got long 312.50. Made profit on half that position, ended up losing on some of it as well. All good. Then I see that 311 short, which I really wanted because I knew that 312.50 area was kind of make it or break it. I was interested in that as support resistance flips. So we start breaking below. Initially, I want 311.50. Can't get that. I say, fine, get 311. You can add if you want to, right? We get to 310.30s. We're chilling. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm down to take 70 pennies if we bounce because we're like holding. Then that Elon news comes in, we drop, I get
Yes.
$2.30 on CrowdStrike. So I had $1.50 trade on it, another $2.30 trade. So CRWD, I also had a dollar trade on Netflix as well, which is not one I was planning on trading, but we kept seeing lower highs. We kept seeing rejections off the 9 EMA, ended up taking $1.10 on it. Had some trades on Tesla as well. Those are my top 3 names.
Great look, and we'll have the chart up here very, very quickly. You can see the acceleration on CrowdStrike was right about here when Elon was like, we pulled everything off. Well, that's not the exact tweet. You guys can go check it out. But essentially, they pulled off of CrowdStrike, and this was a hammer candle to the downside. I don't have volume on this, but trust me when I tell you it was a massive volume spike on that move into the downside. And I missed a pun. It was pointed out to me that I should have said, you mean the weed stocks didn't get high? Okay, fine. I missed the pun. See, but it's Adara that's supposed to drop the puns. I have zero responsibility to drop puns when Adara is sitting right next to me. Great look on CrowdStrike. I think you got to give this one, maybe it's like earnings where you got to wait 2 or 3 days, let it calm down. Anytime you have big earnings or like a short seller report or a situation like this for CrowdStrike, my gut tells me don't go bottom picking until it shows you that it can hold a low. So you have put in, there was an overnight bounce off of $290 down here. I mean, 280, 270, both hit really early. And then you had this 290, take it easy, Sean, have a good weekend. That 290 level, and then now 300. So if it holds one of those on Monday, you come back on Tuesday and you're still bouncing off of it, then I might look for, and I'm not talking about day trades. You can day trade any direction. I'm just thinking about like a swing trade opportunity there. Let's see it hold for a couple of days. And then you can have a little bit of a swing idea. It's what I'm still waiting for to happen on Nike. Nike's making bottoms, hasn't really made a gigantic turnaround just yet. I think you got to do the same thing with CrowdStrike. Be really, really patient. I'm of the camp, and I've heard a lot of people say this, this was not a this wasn't a hack. This was a rollout that went bad. Now, obviously, because they are big and they're everywhere, there's a lot of bad repercussions. But ultimately, this wasn't necessarily a security issue, and we have seen companies recover from this before, especially when they're good ones. I don't think you throw the baby out with the bathwater here. Just let this one settle down, and there might be a good retracement trade that can possibly come in on CrowdStrike.
Yeah, I'm definitely I'm already looking at levels for to trade this on Monday. That 304 level was kind of interesting earlier. 307, so just filing those away, putting those in my journal, because I think in the longer term as well, some opportunities, but it's also, I think, sometimes worth noting, because I forget about this a lot as someone who mostly just trades Mag 7s. You can have day 2 or day 3 of these plays, right, where these names will get extra attention. CrowdStrike, interesting to me as well, with it being a new entry to the S&P 500. It just got added. So for this controversy to come now, I think is really fascinating. I think CrowdStrike will certainly, them striking out here could be an interesting change of the tide for this name going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we're going to have Trader Tammy on in just a quick second, but I wanted to go over this one because it was a great day of trading for the entire floor. And I can tell you my number one idea was my single worst trade this week. So I got almost everything back. We ended up like 10% of what we lost on the day and almost at green. Basically a flat day for me, but it all started with having a misinterpretation of ARM. I thought ARM was going to be a big mover today. ARM was very well condensed, and it was simply a matter of what had happened. The stock had broken down huge. If you went to the daily chart, 151 is support. It had a huge day to the downside, came right back and reestablished support. I had a simple plan, break out the top, stop at the low, and then it had a huge gap fill potential to 170. Seen ARM do it before, upside or downside. But the key point is, it stopped working the way I wanted. The lesson of the day was to just gear down on it, not have the same expectation, and move on to other things. Like VWAP trades in the afternoon basically got almost everything back. I think if we'd gotten any kind of push in Walgreens, I think we would have been okay there. But it is what it is. You've got to be able to, when something isn't working, even if it's your best idea, you just can't be stubborn about it. Like, it didn't trade the way I wanted to, so we just got away from it. Because I could have sat there, kept trying to make magic happen, and it couldn't break out the top. If it's not going, it's not going. And that's something that you have to respect. How much you make depends mostly on how much it costs you to win that trade, right? So ultimately, at my worst today, I was down what I made yesterday. If I'd stayed there, you can live with that loss. It's when you lose 3, 4, 5 times what you're able to make, you're going to run yourself into some trouble. I do believe, you guys let me know when we have Trader Tammy ready, but if we don't just yet, I did want to check back in on IBIT before we get to our guest. IBIT, and I'm looking at IBIT only because I don't have Bitcoin specifically here on my TradeID's platform. But closing right at those highs, at 67, up that 5.5%. I think this is a theme we want to continue. On weekdays in the market, try to pay attention to what is strong so that you're prepared for next week. We have a lot of big earnings, but the strength over in crypto is something we'll hope to be able to trade next week. So I do believe we are locked and loaded and ready to go. Time for a little bit of... little Trader Talk action. Tammy, welcome to the show. Once again, it's Friday, so we have Tammy Marshall, our Fibonacci princess. And first off, how was your day? How was your week? How have things been? What a wild week the markets have been. So tell me you had some fun with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always having some fun.
That's what.
It's been great. It's great to see you again, Neil. It's been a wonderful week. Thank you for having me on.
Great to have you as well. And I got to shout out something as well, because on our midday show, we have Learn to Trade, and there's a lesson pretty much every single day. Sometimes it's like, might be carry a theme for 1 or 2 days. The entire week, is this the last 2 weeks or just the week? I think
this has been 2 weeks of Elliott Waves.
2 weeks. 2 weeks of Elliott Waves being taught by Adara and Sharif on our midday show. And I know your jaw is dropping because that's right in your wheelhouse. Right, Tammy?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know a lot about Elliott Wave. I work at elliottwavetrader.net, and I have a Fibonacci analysis room there. But I have been trying to learn it because what I have noticed is when Elliott Wave and Fibonacci do line up, it is a nice thing to see. So
that's exactly what I've read.
I should be watching this so I could learn more. I didn't know you were doing that. So.
Well, this is what it's all about for us here at Trader TV Live. Like, we're just about learning. There's not only one way to do things. I like support and resistance. I try to keep it simple. I learned that from trading like small caps and penny stocks when I started, and that's been the foundation of my trading. I messed with Fibonacci and never had any success with it. That's why we bring you on in here. So I know that they're related. I've never understood exactly how they work together, but I know that's something, of course, you working with Elliott Wave, that something might be up the wheelhouse. So, you know, they're all available. You can watch the midday show and watch it back and then be able to take that lesson. But there's one thing we have to talk about right now, because...
And I was going to tell you, if y'all ever want me to do any Fibonacci type lesson for the show, I would be more than happy to do some basic Fibonacci lessons for everybody.
Okay, so
Good to know.
You're being held to this. So when Sharif and Adara want to do a Fibonacci lesson, you've just said it live. So the midday is from 11 to 2 o'clock every single day here at Trader TV Live. When they do a lesson on it, we're gonna have the Fibonacci princess. Adara's right here. She's excited. This is why we have fantastic guests, so we can learn from you.
Well, and something y'all don't know about me is that I was the teacher for 15 years before I started working on the stock market. So,
well, now it makes a heck of a lot of sense. I am not, and have never been a teacher, and we've had Daniel Shea on, who also has teaching experience. I think it really does show. A lot of times, I'll have to explain something 2 or 3 times, or someone will ask me, "Can you just explain that again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm talking trader speak. I'm going a little bit too fast, and it makes sense to me in my head." But it obviously shows as a teacher, you've already gotten a bit past that. So I want you to teach us something today. Everyone's looking at CrowdStrike. That outage affected so many people. And my wife couldn't get onto her TD banking app this morning. Not that she needed to do anything big, but it affected a lot of flights around the world.
Orders filled with.
Oh, you had order problems.
Also. So we're on the phone with them early this morning also. So.
Everybody was affected by it. CrowdStrike down 10 points today, 20% overnight at one point. What was the look for you on CrowdStrike? I know a lot of people were looking relief rally in the morning. That was successful. Shorts into the midday in the afternoon, and then Elon tanking the stock. You could have pretty much done anything with that stock today from top to bottom, as long as you were patient enough. But what do you see with it, not just today, but maybe going forward after this event?
Well, that's actually what my husband and I were just talking about is getting involved next week. And what I've got for you on the daily right now. And another thing I want to figure out is a way, we could talk about this later because our time is so limited, but a way for me to maybe be able to share the charts that I'm doing for y'all, drop them somewhere so that everybody in the audience immediately has access to them. So on Crowd, what I'm looking at, I absolutely actually love because the reason I say that is because if it goes through this level of support, we will make a much deeper down correction because there are not a lot of corrections this big on Crowd. And it happens to correlate with the 200 moving day average. So the risk is very, very clearly defined. And those are my favorite kind of setups. You know, sometimes I do setups and I've got, you know, just tons and tons and tons of support because we've just been going straight up for so long. Well, today we came down so far that we don't have a lot of support left. So it's a great place to have the risk clearly defined, and that's what I do as the Fibonacci princess, is define your risk.
That's what it's all about. You know what? If you can't define your risk, you don't have a trade.
Right, exactly.
You know, if you're not defining risk, you're essentially gambling, and you want a positive expectancy. You can't actually figure out what that is if you don't have enough. I think you're right. It does make it somewhat simple, and I think that we should be able to figure out a way that we can do this. Well, maybe like if you send us your slides, I think we'll be able to figure that out so that everyone can view those as well. Maybe we'll be able to attach them to one of our notes. But that's a great look, and I appreciate you wanting to do that for us as well. So I've said that one level, I'd actually like to see us hold into next week because you have the investigation. The administration is looking into this event, and maybe we'll see some more headlines come out over the weekend. So you never really know what's going to happen on Monday.
Right.
So I'd like to see it hold for a couple of days for some confirmation and maybe take some trades off of it. Do you employ something around here? Sometimes for earnings, we'll talk about like a 3-day rule. If you have an earnings event, or if you have like a short seller report or something like this, give it 2 or 3 days. See how it's setting up then, and then maybe come back onto it and be willing to maybe miss that initial bounce or continuation.
What I do that's, I think, kind of in the area of what you're talking about is I say, let's go to a lower time frame chart and see if we can clear some of that lower time frame resistance. So go to a lower time frame chart. This is, I had Netflix pulled up, not Crowd, but go to a lower time frame chart and let's start looking at us to clear, you know, some of these previous swings that have happened. And then maybe once we kind of get through some of this stuff that's in our way, we come up, clear that, then we look for a pullback to enter the trade. So try to get some of that symmetry that sometimes knocks the price down even further. Try to get some of that out of our way and then buy on a pullback after it's gotten through some of that symmetry. Now, here's the thing with Crowd though. Because the risk is so clearly defined, and it's right on top of the 200 moving day average, I would just use that as risk and not necessarily go for it. I mean, I may wait a day or two just to kind of see what things are looking like, but I also don't want to miss that price and it just take off. You know, I don't like to have FOMO. I think that's a horrible way to trade. You got to stay in control of your psychology, but the risk is just so clearly defined here that, you know, it's a little bit different than a lot of the other charts that I do because it came down so much. We don't have a lot of support.
Yeah, that makes it very unique to be sure, Tammy. And what's interesting today is, if not for that outage, the CrowdStrike, and then maybe the rollover, it affected Microsoft and some other names as well. You know, it was Netflix earnings last night, and it's almost as if you come into the office in the morning and Netflix was almost an afterthought. It was to the downside. It had regained so much. At one point, it was up on the day, despite a bit of a revenue miss there. Ends up closing, what are we down, like 1.3% as we speak. It did break the 50-period moving average. So on the daily chart, there is a bit of a pullback here on Netflix. What are your thoughts? Because we look at it like it was a smaller move than expected. So we might be in a bit of a wait and see. Yes, back into the downside here, but not a lot of fireworks for Netflix. So what's your approach when we have kind of a muted move relative to what it's done in the past?
Well, here's an example of a chart that just has a lot of levels, right? I mean, I'm showing support all the way down to 600, and I didn't do all of the support I could have run because we do have some much bigger swings back here. I mean, this is a swing I didn't even include because it's so far below the market. So this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say, well, there's just so many levels of support. So then what you're going to want to do is pick a level and look for other things that tell you that that level may hold, any indicators that you may use. You may also look at some of the Elliott wave patterns and see what it's doing with Elliott wave. I know my husband looks at some different lines by a guy named David Starr who does Elliott wave. He does voodoo and snow lines, and if one of those lines up with some of the work that I have, that's confirmation for him. So basically, the Fibonacci work is a great tool to have in your toolbox to help you confirm with other things that you're already seeing. And like you said, yeah, we're below the 50. And then I also look at the 5 and the 13. The 5 is below the 13. So I have 3 of the moving averages on the side of the bears, but we are way above that 200 moving day average. I mean, it's not even close at this point. So you can still make a case for the bulls. I mean, I don't know about everybody else out there, but I still have my Netflix, and it's one of the things I'm not planning on canceling. So, yeah.
Never cancel. I
can't. The kids,
Right?
I actually really like the adult stuff, but the kids section is what I rely on the most. My children have their favorite programs on the kids, and so there's no way I'll be canceling that.
Well, 2 questions. How old are they, and what's their favorite?
So I am, I'm 48, but I have a 4-year-old and an 11-year-old. I got it started a little late. And my
Great
4-year-old's
ages.
favorite show is Gabby's Dollhouse. And then my 11-year-old, I can't remember the name. It's like 4 kids. Something, Ricky.
Oh, something, someone, and Dawn.
Oh, I think I know. Darius seems to know that one.
That they're brothers and sisters, and it's just about their life and the funny things that happen at their house. I think it probably reminds her of the.
Well, I can tell you right now,
she lives in.
my daughter's 7, and she still loves Gabby's Dollhouse, which is a cool show.
Gabby's is the best. We have the big doll house. We have all
Yeah.
the little characters. We go up into her playroom and play Gabby's, and yeah.
This is why they have a moat. I think Netflix has a bit of a moat. Like a lot of people, Netflix isn't that great anymore. But parents, like you don't get rid of the streaming service when you have kids. I'll tell you that right now because like that's all they know, and they love those shows on Netflix. Now I'm personally I'm one of those that pays for everything, so I have Disney even though I don't watch it that much and all that stuff. But I always feel like most of the people I talk to, like the thing they won't get rid of is Netflix. But just because it has a moat on it doesn't mean it can't pull back in. I look at that, I know we're kind of running on time. I look at that 200 period moving average, and some of that makes me a bit concerned if we lose this support. Like being that far away from it, that if the overall market were to make a pull back in, my concern with Netflix would be, well, it's got a lot of room to fall, and it's not necessarily the darling that some of the other big cap tech would. So for myself, I'm a little bit cautious with Netflix in this recent low, and it's how far away from the 200 period average that is. It kind of scares me a little bit, Tammy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you definitely want to be cautious. I would say at this point, we want to be cautious with a lot of things because we're just in a really interesting territory right now with everything that's going on, with the election coming up. Also, so we've kind of got a lot going over here in the USA, to say the least.
Yeah, to say the least. Well, we have an election up here too that I guess no one really cares about our elections. We're very, very boring in Canada.
We do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Nobody cares who the Prime Minister of Canada is, and none of the people in the chat can even name who he is, probably. Well, I'm sure a few people could. And it's fine. We understand where you've got to know as a trader, you've got to know how to stay in your lane. And I think as Canadians, we know how to stay in our lane as well. We're very nice. We're polite. We got fresh water. We got a bunch of, we got some oil up here too as well, which is great. We got a lot of land, and we treat each other pretty well. That's what we're known for up here. But okay, now a couple people in the chat are going to prove that they know Prime Minister Trudeau. But Tammy, it's somehow already 4:30. or close to it. Before we get you out of here and hope that you have a great weekend, are there any final thoughts going into what is obviously the start of the real earnings coming through? I know we had Netflix, but the big cap tech, you're starting to get those next week. So do you have any final thoughts on some of what you're looking for next week?
You know, Nvidia, I'll tell you, Nvidia is on top of weekly support. It did go through a lot of the daily support I had, but the weekly support I have for Nvidia is about 115 to 117. Speaking of weekly support, this was very interesting. I know Micron's always a thing people want to talk about, and it went through a lot of my daily support, but I do have a nice level of support here on Micron weekly. If you are wanting to trade that, I'm not quite sure when the earnings are there, but speaking of chip stocks, you know, there you go. And let's see, Tesla. I mean, I like Tesla, but it's just not really doing a whole lot right now. I do have a lot of support on it. It's just kind of in between decisions. One thing that was really interesting that happened on my Twitter earlier this week is or was it maybe yesterday, I posted where we were coming into this cluster of resistance on diamonds daily. And we ended up having a really big fail off of that. And now I've got new support on the diamonds. I'm not sure when we're going to get a bounce on the diamonds. We could see a little bit more downside next week. But this is the support I have right now on the diamonds. So is there anything else y'all would like for me to cover? And listen, if you follow me on Twitter,
I was about to say,
you are welcome to ask me my opinion on a stock, especially if you see me post a chart. Please be sure to comment. I'm happy to run something for you as long as I have the time.
That's a perfect segue, because I know you get lots of ideas. We talk about some. We don't get to cover absolutely everything there, Tammy. So make sure that you guys all check her out on the X, Twitter. I still call it Twitter myself. I know on X, Trader.
I know. I can't get away from it. I'm trying.
At Trader Tammy. And just so you do know that DIA, the diamonds or the Dow, that support was actually something we were talking about yesterday, pulling back into prior resistance for potential support in the diamonds. That could be a good one. Hey, it's Trader Tammy, one of our favorite guests, the Fibonacci Princess, and don't think that we forget, when the midday show does a lesson on Fibonacci's, they're going to reach out to you, and if they don't, they're going to have to come back and talk to me because you've committed that you're going to help us all.
I'm happy to do it. I'd love to. I love talking fibs.
Thank you for being such a great guest and being so gracious to give us your time, your knowledge, and then also potentially doing a lesson. Don't know when it's going to be, but that's what we're all about here. Traders try to get better. Traders try to learn. Thank you so much. Tammy Marshall, the Fibonacci Princess. Trader Tammy,
I hope you
have a great
wonderful weekend, and everybody take care out there and have a very blessed, wonderful weekend.
You as well, Tammy. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, we went past 4:30, but I wanted to make sure Tammy got her final thoughts. You guys know what's up right about now. It's roll call time. Get your names in there. Make sure that you get in there so you can have Adara drop her rapid fire award-winning roll call, because no one else does it the way that Adara does. I'm going to get in there myself, dropping a big thanks in there to Tammy.
I'll start with Bears versus Bulls. Thank you so much for everything you do. Awesome moderator, awesome whole community here. Shout out to Aaron Scott Matthews, the Piper, Bears versus Bulls here again. Neil Roberts. For round and find out, we have Alico. We've got Bears versus Bulls here again. Viper Trader, I'm going to start going. Weakest Nano, I'm going to start going up now. Odyssey Fights, Benjamin Smart. We've got Nightbot in here. Hold me back. Mahishu Watkins, Black Sheep Trades, Marty JTV, Fumagu, on ONG Adam, we've got Brandon, we've got Mr. Ian, we have Tammy Marshall in the chat. Shout out to Trader Tammy, John Von Sowers, Alvin, Logan's Pop, Drew, V-Dog, Mahishu again, Alex Diaz, Pineapple Endies, Trenches Trader, the Piper here again, Mr. Ian. It's a lot of repeats here in this here chat. I don't mind that at all. Alico, Pillsbury, Bears versus Bulls. Once again, shout out to everything you do. And we've got Hold Me Back, we've got TH, we've got Robert Leo, we've got Yannick and Beatrice, JB, Bassam, we've got TX Trader, Henry Chung, Robert Leo, S. Samuel, Mui Casano, and Abias. We've got Hold Me Back, David Moore. I think we're done for tonight, guys.
Fantastic ones. Shout out to you, Adara. Thank you for dropping an amazing roll call like you always do.
Thank you.
And you know how we always try to end things, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. because before we tell you got to tune back in on Monday, I want to give a final happy birthday to a member of our team, Obi, the one, the Kenobi. He's staring at me right over there.
Oh, yeah.
Big wave, Obi, turning a very young 25 years old, I think. That's exactly what it is. He just gave the thumbs up. Fabian, Wayne over there. Great team we have. Lots of fun. I know they're going to rip it up on the town, well, tonight and possibly this weekend. But hey, next week, we get a bunch of earnings. Got a big week coming up. We had Netflix. We're going to get big cap tech next week. Do not forget about CrowdStrike. There's probably going to be some day 2, day 3 plays. Guess what? No matter how fun or how crazy the market is, you always know you can see something new tomorrow. So on Monday, strap up, get locked and loaded. At 8:30, we're going to do this all over again, and we're going to have some fun doing it. So from everybody here, from Fabian and Ramin to Sean and Adara and Sharif and Brendan and myself, we're Trader TV Live, and we'll see you back 8:30 Monday morning.